Hey there, all you cool, epic, awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome back. You're now listening to episode 21 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. I'm your co host, Matt.
And I'm the other co-host, Joe. We got a
And
lot of
today
news
we
to talk
have, we got
Yeah.
a lot of shit to talk about today.
Yeah.
We got two big releases this year, which is Dungeons and Dragons and the Super Mario movie, which is doing insane numbers right now at the box office. And then you recommended a very interesting movie last week that we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. You could say it, bro.
It's a Handmaiden. I believe it's a Korean film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has it's Korean and Japanese.
And Japanese, yeah. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But I think first we're going to start off with Dungeons and Dragons, which we both saw this weekend. Not this weekend, 2 weekends ago. I'm sorry. I honestly, I don't know about you, but I don't really know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. I have no idea the lore or anything like that. But I still really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I don't know shit about any of it.
Yeah.
I just know it. The only thing I know is that most of the game is basically made up by the player. There's not an insane amount of lore associated with it. I know there is a little bit because my friend that I went to go see it with, he kind of knew some of the extended lore, and they've made video games based on some of the Dungeons and Dragons concepts that he's known.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know shit about it, and honestly, I wasn't even looking forward to the movie at all. It wasn't even on my radar.
Really?
Yeah, but it ended up getting great reviews, so I was like, all right, whatever.
When the trailer came out, I was like, wow, this actually looks like pretty fun. I was excited for it, and then it didn't disappoint, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So it's probably my surprise of the year so far, I would say.
Yeah.
I expected it to be at least decent because the cast is really good all around. Chris Pine is great, and even I don't usually like Michelle Rodriguez.
We were both talking about that, how we were not really big fans of Michelle Rodriguez and a lot of stuff that she's in, but she was fantastic in this.
Yeah, and I feel like it's such a cliche to be like, oh, here's this big masculine, independent, strong woman, and it's just thrown in there for inclusion or whatever. But that wasn't the case. I think that they did it very tastefully, and it worked.
I'm sorry, you go.
What's it called? So yeah, I just wanted to go through some of the plot for a second.
Yeah.
So the movie's basically about these group of thieves that they're a bunch of misfits, whatever, the typical, group of there's the strong man and the wizard and all this. And they end up having a heist that goes wrong, which leads to the main dude, Chris Pine's wife, getting murdered. And then his daughter grows up without a mother. And then he ends up getting locked up, and the story is basically about him trying to get back to his daughter. But it turns out one of the people in his group is brainwashing the daughter and saying that the father left her, abandoned her, and all this. So it's just it's a family oriented story, and I thought the plot was relatively well written. I didn't have any complaints with it.
Yeah, I thought the plot was fine.
I also liked how, I know this isn't usually common, but to have a male and female co-leads that aren't romantic interests of each other.
Yeah, and the only other movie that comes in recent memory that comes to mind is Shang-Chi. But I love when they don't force a relationship between the male and female co-leads. I like it better when they're just they just go through the story and there's no force,
Yeah. I also, another thing that I noticed, that this is one of the main things I liked about the movie, was the character design and the practical costumes for a lot of the characters.
You can tell that they really put a lot of effort into the set design and the creatures and all the stuff in this world. The people that made this movie really care about the source material.
Yeah, I thought the creatures were mad funny. Jonathan, that guy. And also that random cat lady. Remember that
cat lady.
The dude saves because the
yes, she's the baby's choking or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's the
baby's in a fish.
Fish's mouth. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
But yeah, the whole cast overall had really good chemistry. You could tell. I usually don't like Justice Smith that much. That's the guy from
Yeah, from Detective Pikachu.
yeah, he comes off as like annoying to me usually.
Yeah, I didn't like him in Jurassic World either.
But I thought he was fine in this. He did
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Um yeah, also I'll talk about my favorite scene quickly was the Bradley Cooper cameo.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that
That threw
so
me off a little bit. I
yeah,
didn't
there's
know if it
this
was him, like at first,
yeah,
but then
there's a scene in the movie where basically the Michelle Rodriguez's character is like throughout the movie she's talking about how she wants to like meet up with her ex lover and like sort of work things out, and they keep mentioning him, and she's like this big like brolic like strong
wrong
woman,
woman.
so you're expecting like a giant like husband or whatever that she used to have, and
Yeah.
you show up and it's like a dwarf guy, not like an actual dwarf, but it's just like it's Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
except they like sized him down to be like 3 feet tall, and that was like her ex-lover.
Yeah.
And I was actually crying in the theater because I love Bradley Cooper and it was just so goofy and so
Yeah.
funny. And the movie was just really funny overall.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by how funny it was.
Hugh Grant I also really enjoyed too.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Pine usually isn't a comedic actor, but when he does comedic stuff, I feel like it works. He has like that
Yeah.
charisma and he knows how to like land a joke.
Yeah. He was an executive producer on the film too, which I didn't realize.
Yeah, I did not know that.
So I guess he's a
Um,
fan of like Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I was reading something that they I forgot who was originally in talks to star. Someone else was, but Pine was just like really adamant about doing the movie for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah.
I know Chris McKay was originally set to direct it. I don't know if
Really?
you've probably seen a couple of his movies, but he had to drop out to do the Tomorrow War
Really?
with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's doing Renfield, right?
is it him? I believe so.
Yeah.
Um, let me double check that.
He was a writer on Dungeons and Dragons too.
Oh, he was. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is doing Renfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that would have been interesting to see his take on it, but I think these directors did good. It was like a joint
Yeah.
director thing. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. I'm gonna read off their
I know
names.
they did Game Night, which I still haven't seen.
Yeah, so it's John Francis Daly and Jonathan M. Goldstein.
Yeah.
It was joint directed. They also directed Game Night, like you just said. And
And I know they were because I know the Flash has had a million directors, but at one point they were attached to the Flash, but they left.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Flash, like they're good. They were
No,
good. I think
yeah, yeah,
they did a good job with this
yeah.
movie. And I think this will become a franchise at some point.
I don't know, dude, because they're not even. I didn't even do that well at the box office. I think
Did it not? I thought it.
no, because the budget was like 150 million, and it's only grossed like 130 right now. I think
Oh
globally.
shit.
Yeah, which kind of sucks because I like the characters. I'd like to see them explore like that world a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I think the characters were developed pretty well.
Yeah.
I also liked Sophia Lillis's character. She's the one who
Oh,
turns into
like
like
the wizard
she turns
witch
into
lady,
the
the
owl
owl bear,
bear.
right? Yeah.
I actually like her as an actress because she's from the It movies, and that was kind of like
Yeah.
her break. But she hasn't been in much since then.
I saw her in that movie. It's like a witch movie. I forgot what it's. I
Oh
think it's
yeah,
like a
we
Hansel and
watched it.
Gretel
Yeah,
take.
we
Yeah,
watched that movie.
I
Remember?
didn't really like it, but I liked her in it.
She's apparently in Wes Anderson's next movie too.
Oh, Asteroid City.
Yeah,
Mm.
which yeah, we'll talk about that later
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
dropped the trailer for that.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad she's stepping out a little bit and
Yeah.
hopefully she'll get more attention. Also, the only guy we haven't talked about is Regé Jean Page.
Is
I don't
he
know
in?
if
Is he in Secret Invasion too? Is he
I
playing the villain in?
I think yeah, I believe
Yeah.
no, wait, I don't know. That might be someone
It
else.
it looks just like him.
But I think he's famous from like The Crown or like one of those shows.
This is the first thing I think I've seen him in. Honestly.
I saw him in The Gray Man.
Oh, he's in the Gray Man.
Yeah. Oh, he's from Bridgerton. That's what he's like famous
Oh,
for.
oh.
He's like supposed to be like a heartthrob or whatever. And he's a handsome
No, he's a
lad.
handsome dude. Yeah.
But
Oh, it's not. He's not in Secret Invasion. The guy in it like has a name where it's like how there's the hyphen in his name.
yeah,
The guy who's playing him has the same thing, so I got them confused.
yeah. Yeah, but I also thought he was in Secret Invasion. So
Yeah.
um,
Did you have like a favorite scene in the movie?
yeah, I was saying it was the cameo from Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
and if not that, maybe the scene with the fat dragon. I thought
Uh,
like when they were in the underworld, that was like something I've never like seen that before, like a fat
yeah, I thought it
dragon.
was really unique. I loved like all the creatures were very very unique. I don't know if I'm assuming they're all from the games. I don't think they designed them on their own. But like they had like the chest thing with I don't know like any of the names. And then they had the panther with like that does like the hallucination thing. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that like chest, it's called a mimic, and it's from like Demon Souls or whatever, Dark Souls, that
Oh, okay.
series. But it's
Okay.
just like a typical like
Like yeah, medieval
yeah,
like type
like
of yeah.
and I was gonna mention this also. I'm usually not the biggest fan of like medieval like fantasy epics like this.
Really? I thought you would because you love the Green Knight.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Lord of the Rings series. I know
Yeah.
that might get me some hate, but I don't know. I feel like it is something that I normally would like,
Hmm.
but I feel like when we were younger, we never watched Lord of the Rings. We grew up
I
on
mean, I
like
don't really, I
Star
don't, yeah,
Wars.
but I feel like Lord of the Rings isn't really like something kids watch. I feel like it's geared more towards adults. Because if you're a kid, you're not gonna sit there for like 3 hours and watch this movie.
It's true, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Some people that I know that like love the Lord of the Rings movies, like watched them when they were younger. I don't know
Yeah.
if have you even seen them?
I've seen the Hobbit trilogy. The Hobbit trilogy I actually really liked.
Yeah,
Um,
the
but
Lord of
I've
the
heard
Rings
Lord
is
of the Rings is
tough.
better, right?
Yeah, but like they're known as like some of the greatest
This
movies of
French,
all
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Like if you look on Letterboxd, they all have like a 4 point
yeah.
something rating.
Like I remember speaking to someone about it, and they said in the Lord of the Rings, like a lot of the uh, like creatures and stuff are more practical effects because at the time they like the CGI wasn't there yet. So they said
Yeah,
like it's more like immersive.
yeah, and also it's Peter Jackson, who we talked about last
Oh yeah,
episode.
with Meet the Feebles.
He came from like horror roots, so he likes having these like practical effects and like these cool creatures and
Yeah.
stuff.
Anytime a
And
movie has like practical effects or like sets that are built and not CGI, like that's such a plus for me. I feel like you get more like immersed in the experience of the movie, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree, and that's why I liked. There wasn't like that much CGI
CGI,
in
yeah, it
this.
was really just like probably the dragon, like stuff that they couldn't really do with practical effects. They
Yeah, like
had
the
like
magic stuff, and
yeah.
I also what's actually now you didn't say your favorite scene yet. If you want, go ahead.
I mean, I feel like to me, there's not really a lot, any like specific shots or scenes that really stand out to me. I guess like the end, maybe. I know it's a little cliche, but honestly, I felt a little emotional at the end. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't crying or tearing up, but I was like, "Damn, this is a little sad." When
When
spoiler alert, obviously if you haven't seen the movie, at the end, so we didn't explain it earlier, but basically what they were trying to get when they did this heist is, or what is it called? I think a
Resurrections,
resurrection tablet or
yeah,
something. Yeah. So
something like that.
he's the whole story is he's trying to bring back his wife. So like him, his wife, and his daughter all live together. But throughout the story and as the movie goes on, you kind of see that Michelle Rodriguez's character is kind of like the motherly figure to the daughter. Like they have like a really good relationship. And at the end of the movie, Michelle Rodriguez's character gets stabbed, and she basically dies. And they decide to use the tablet on her rather than the mom. So it's like just I don't know. I thought it was a really good scene.
Yeah, I thought that was a great way to end the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, because yeah, it like makes sense narratively. Like it allows like Chris Pine's character to kind of like move on and
One,
accept
absolutely, yeah.
that his wife is
Stop hanging
gone,
on to
and
the path. Hmm.
because like and Michelle Rodriguez's character, she was the mother figure to the
Yeah,
daughter. Like
yeah,
it's explained in flashbacks that she kind of like helped him raise her.
yeah.
So you know, she wasn't her mother, but she was the mother that stepped up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Let's do our favorite characters quick.
Honestly, I really liked Hugh Grant's character. I know it's a little out there, but I enjoyed his like kind of manipulative charisma about him. I've only really seen him in he was in Knives Out 2 for 2 seconds. I haven't seen him in much, but I want to watch more of him now.
Yeah, I've only seen him in that movie Love Actually, like that rom com.
Oh,
He
really?
was, yeah, he was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I it was hard for me to choose because I really liked all the characters, but probably Chris Pine's character was my favorite. I just think he's
I mean,
so charismatic.
they all were written really well. Like there wasn't really a side character that felt they really fleshed out the characters really well for the runtime that they had because there's like five basically co-leads because I mean Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez are the kind of two main leads, but you still follow around this group pretty much the whole time. But they flesh out all the characters pretty well.
Yeah. And the reason Chris Pine, like he was one of my least favorite Chris's, to be honest. Like if we're
Yeah,
talking about Chris Hemsworth,
Chris
Evans,
Evans and
and
Pratt.
Pratt, but he's kind of sold me as like a leading man as of recently. I really liked him in Don't Worry, Darling, which came out last year.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot he was
He's
in that. He was yeah. I liked his villain in that.
Yeah, and he was good in. I mean, he was okay. He was like fine in Wonder Woman, but
Yeah,
this just like sold me on him. Like I didn't realize like how charismatic he actually is.
I know
So like that.
he's he's also plays the Peter Parker on Miles Morales' Earth in Into the Spider-Verse. I know he's
Oh
only in it for
yeah,
like 15 minutes, but I
I
enjoyed
forgot about
his
that.
iteration of it. And then he's also I don't know if you saw, but he got cast as I believe the villain in the next like Disney animated project. I think it's called Wish.
Yeah, it's like Wish
Yeah,
Upon or
yeah,
Wish or
Wish Upon
something.
Sun. And I think he's gonna sing and stuff like that, which I would be kind of crazy, but yeah. Would you
Yeah.
rate the movie?
I gave it a 4 star, 8 out of
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
It's just a fun time. Like
Yeah.
it was just like a
Like a feel good
basic
movie. Yeah.
feel good action. Just like had a fun time in the theater with my friend. We were like
Yeah.
laughing the whole
Yeah.
time. So yeah.
Yeah. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm sorry, 4 out of 5 or 8 out of 10 as well. Same. Like it wasn't. I really enjoyed it. There wasn't like too much wrong with the movie that stuck out to me, and it was a fun time.
Yeah. Wait, I had a couple things written down. I want to make sure I went
Oh
over
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Oh.
Um, Let me see. Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to mention was that the initial release date for this, I don't know if you knew this, but it was supposed to come out in November of 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
But
So
due to
it's been sitting there for like
it's
2 years.
yeah, because of COVID. It's pretty wild.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that. I thought like they just made it recently.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know it either, but when I was like looking into a
Yeah,
little bit of what was going on behind the scenes, but yeah, I'm so far it's probably in my top 5 of the year so far,
yeah, it's in my
and
top 5.
great film. I'm glad that we ended up seeing it because
Yeah,
I probably wasn't planning on seeing it anyway because I don't really care about Dungeons and Dragons. Thankfully, it was good though.
they're gonna piss off all our Dungeons and Dragons fans out there.
Yeah, if there are any hardcore D&D listeners, sorry for offending you, but
I know it's a little off
uh,
topic, but they're also doing a Dungeons and Dragons TV series for Amazon, and Joe Manganiello is producing it.
is it like connected to the movie?
I don't think so. But I don't know if you know, but he's like a huge D&D fan. Like he's in like this. He has like a whole group of like other Hollywood actors that they have their own like D&D group and they play. He's like a huge nerd, Joe Manganiello.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure that that'll be good. It
yeah,
seems
yeah,
if he's like that passionate about it, then
yeah.
I'm sure it'll be good.
It's kind of like with Henry Cavill and what is it, Warhammer? I think is his thing. That's the shit he
Yeah,
loves. It's like that kind of.
yeah. And so this is a technically not a video game adaptation, but it's like a
It's
board
a board
game,
game. Yeah.
and that'll segue us into our next movie, which is a video game adaptation. And this was one that you were looking. This was like your most anticipated of the year, I think, right?
My definitely it was up there, probably my top 5. I was very, very excited for this movie.
Yeah, and this is the Super Mario movie
Movie.
made by Illumination, starring
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, among
Charlie
others.
Day. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the cast is really stacked, honestly. Seth Rogen.
And yeah, so I guess like I'll give a little synopsis of it. Because with like a Mario movie, there's a lot of ways you can approach it.
Yeah.
And what they did with this is that Mario and Luigi are like plumbers in the real world, and they kind of like suck at their job. They incorporate this fact that like Mario's father is like disappointed in him or something through the movie. So yeah, they fuck up. They end up accidentally going down a pipe, which leads them into the Mushroom Kingdom, where Mario meets Peach, and she basically.
Well, you're missing that you skipped Luigi's part.
Well, I'm getting there.
Well,
you want to explain it?
no, because like he met up with Peach, but like there's no context to that about why.
All right. So yeah, no, actually, you're right. So they go down this pipe. Luigi gets sucked out of another pipe, ends up in Bowser's kingdom. Bowser captures him. Mario's trying to get him back. Peach also happens to be trying to fuck up Bowser, so they like team up to try to go after Bowser. And they meet a bunch of familiar faces along the way. Yeah. They meet Donkey Kong and Toad, and it's just like it's like a fun little adventure movie.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. I know initially the reviews came out and they were like 50% on Rotten
Yeah, no, it's definitely not that bad. I didn't like it as much as you did, but it's definitely not as bad as critics are making it out to be. Most of the people that are writing bad reviews, it's because they don't play Mario. They just like it. Like I remember, like a lot of them were like, I don't like if you don't understand Mario, you're not going to understand this movie. It's like made for Nintendo fans.
Yeah, so, it's definitely made for fans of the games, and like you said, there's no way to really understand what the fuck is going on. But also like who is not familiar with Mario?
Yeah, it's like probably one of that or Pokemon is probably the biggest IP in the world, honestly.
Yeah, I like how they were able to like incorporate things from the game like and explain them decently well enough in the story. Like how they get power ups, they're just like like you can eat these power ups and like they give you powers. Like they didn't they didn't overcomplicate it and like
it's just supposed to be there's these, but it shouldn't be that hard to like there's no like reason it should exist. It's just there. Like just leave it. You don't need to explain it. It's a kids animated movie.
Yeah, and I like how they incorporated because like in Mario games, it's like the side scroller aspect where like it's like platforming and they kind of like incorporated that in the training zone that Mario goes through.
And I have to say, all the platform shots or scenes or like sequences were great. I thought they were really well shot, and also the animation is fantastic in this movie. It looks ripped straight out of a Mario game.
Yeah, I thought the character designs were very good. They were like different enough from the games where if you like look at it, you'll know that it's from the movie if you look at it, but it's still like.
But it's still accurate to the games enough that like if you thought it was from if you saw a picture of it, you wouldn't be surprised if it was from a game.
Yeah. And I want to talk about the voice cast because this was like the big thing going into it was that they cast Chris Pratt as Mario and people were like tweaking out and he's not Italian and like whatever. But people just like don't like Chris Pratt for some reason. I don't know why. Like people try to cancel him.
There's like I mean, I actually like him as an actor, but there was one thing he did was a little weird that I didn't really fuck with. Like I don't know if you know, but his like he has an ex-wife. It's actually the girl from the Scary movies.
Yeah.
So like he had a kid with her, and I believe the kid has a disability or something like that. And like he remarried his this other woman. And he made a tweet saying about how he's so happy that his wife can have like healthy children, and it kind of was like a shot at his ex-wife.
I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about, but
I don't know the full. Yeah, I could be missing something.
I think that tweet was taken out of context a little bit because
Yeah, I don't
like
don't quote me on it because like this is just I haven't really like
it
looked
was an
into it.
Instagram post and he's just like, "Oh, I'm so happy that that I had like a healthy and beautiful child." Like he's just like anyone normally like if someone said that with no like backstory, that's just like a normal thing to say. Like
Yeah,
obviously you're happy that you have a healthy child,
yeah,
but it's just because of that history that it's kind of weird. But I don't
weird.
think
Yeah,
but people also don't like him because he's like very conservative. He's super religious and he's like
I know he's
Catholic.
very religious. I didn't like. I don't think he's like. I don't know. He doesn't really seem super like. He probably is conservative, but like he doesn't really like talk about it. I feel like he's just very faithful.
Yeah.
Like he's
And
not. He doesn't bash anybody. He doesn't like.
no,
Like I feel like he's
he
generally
seems
like
like
a
a
good
nice
guy.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's a
If you
good
watch him in
guy.
interviews, like
Like he seems like
especially
he's just yeah.
but yeah, people had a problem with it. And also they just didn't think he could like pull off the voice.
Well, to
But
be fair, like when the first trailer came out, they used like the worst clips possible of him. Whoever made like they like I remember they did like the thing of him saying "Mushroom Kingdom, here we come," and everyone was like, "Sucks!" Like, what the fuck is this? But then you actually watch the movie, and he's. I remember when he first came on screen, all I heard was Chris Pratt, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a long fucking movie. But then
yeah.
like you kind of like he started get like he gets more into like the character, and sounds less like Chris Pratt and more just like his own character. But how did you feel about him in the voice?
Um I thought he was good. I agree
Yeah,
with you that at first it is a little bit jarring when like he
when
first
him,
appears
yeah,
and you're just like, okay, like that's just Chris Pratt. But he does get way more into character like as the movie progresses.
yeah.
Um
And I don't know how you feel, but I think the best character, like voice wise, in the movie was Bowser by far.
yeah, I agree. He was my favorite
Yeah,
character.
you can tell that they, which I think was a very good idea on the Illuminations part, was they wrote Bowser like around Jack Black. Like
Yeah.
he has a song number in this. Like his character's fantastic.
Yeah, I really liked how they gave him the song because it's
Yeah,
just an excuse to hear like Jack Black singing and he like loves doing that shit. Like the
yeah.
Tenacious D movie and School of Rock and all that. Like also
Actually,
actually yeah, you see what
yeah. I
they're
just saw the
tweeting right
tweet. Yeah.
now.
So he's this in the spoiler, obviously. I mean, it's they don't really reveal this in the trailer, but the whole plot is that Bowser wants to marry Peach, and he finds the superstar, and he says, "If you don't marry me, I'm going to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom with the superstar." But so he sings a song called Peach. Peach is about Peach, like the character, and it actually just came up that it can be nominated for Best Original Song at the Oscars, which honestly would be pretty funny if it won.
It probably will get nominated,
Yeah,
honestly.
no, because there's not a lot of like I feel like original songs that come out with movies.
Yeah, not really.
Maybe the only one that I could think maybe probably will beat it is oh no actually because Joker 2 comes out next year.
Oh yeah,
I'll say
that's
maybe if they
2024.
yeah so maybe if they wrote because I know that's going to be a musical too. But yeah no I agree with the Jack Black thing that he was him singing a song and him just the way his character is like I don't know he just embodies the character very well.
Yeah. Not yeah, so I liked Bowser a lot. I think he was my favorite character. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I also want to talk about Princess Peach, who is voiced by Anya Taylor-Joy.
Which
Um
I know me and you both love her.
yeah, I love Anya
Yeah.
Taylor-Joy. And this also had some controversy around it cuz, people get upset when they take like usually like a damsel in distress and they'll change her to be like this, girl boss and like woman
Yeah.
power and all that. And I thought it was like it can be forced if you like do that to a character.
But I feel like for the story, it makes sense that like when Mario first comes to the Mushroom Kingdom, he has no idea how to, you know,
Yeah,
like it
no,
made sense
I was gonna say
narratively.
like in this movie it works for her character. It works. I was
Yeah.
surprised because I thought I was gonna like be a little bit turned off by that because a lot of times they like Hollywood likes to take masculine characters and make them like the bumbling idiots, and then the women are the ones that are smart and powerful and whatever. Which it is what it is. Like it's not done all the time. Like for example, John Wick, he's actually a beast still, and they don't nerf him at all. But I think for the story, it makes sense. Like you said, she's the one who's in
Yeah.
Mushroom Kingdom and knows how that shit works, and she's used to,
And also,
using power ups and doing
people also
whatever.
were bugging out about that. But if you play the games, like she's playable in most of the games. It's not like she just sits there and everything, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But a typical Mario story is Bowser captures Peach, and she's in a
She's
castle, and he
yeah,
has to
yeah.
save her. They changed it so that Luigi is the one who's captured, which I
It
mean,
it made for the
it works.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it
the story,
works.
it works. And I think in future films they could have a
Peach,
scenario where Peach is
Peach gets
captured
captured, and then yeah,
or whatever. And
which
I
would
didn't,
actually be
yeah,
pretty interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't have a problem with it,
No,
with
no,
like
I didn't
how
want
they
it.
portrayed her character.
Yeah.
And honestly, at points the film feels like in the film it feels like she's the main character.
Yeah. But I don't honestly I don't mind because I love Anya Taylor-Joy. And I liked Peach. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I thought she was good.
Yeah.
Um, I want to see if you could. I'm trying to think of like some of the Easter eggs that were in there. If there's any
Oh
that
my
come
god,
to
there's
mind.
so many.
There was so many.
The first one that probably sticks out is because me and you grew up playing the GameCube. So at one point in the beginning, Luigi's phone rings and it's the GameCube like load up sound.
Yeah, I
Like there's
picked up on
just
that right away
so
too.
many little things. Like what else stuck out to me? King Boo is at Bowser's wedding,
hmm And that
which
bomb guy, he's from Mario's 64 or whatever.
oh
What
yeah,
is?
the giant bomb dude.
Yeah,
Yeah. And also I was very surprised because I mean I play a lot of the Mario games. There was a lot of references to Odyssey, which is like the newest game that came out. It came out in 2017. Even a lot of the plot is pulled from Odyssey. Because in
yeah,
Odyssey, like even like the suit that he wears at the wedding, Bowser, that's like straight out of Odyssey, like ripped right
yeah.
from
That
the video
hat,
game.
right?
Yeah, that's all from Odyssey.
Because that has the similar plot in Super
Yeah,
Mario
and that
Odyssey.
in
He's like,
Odyssey basically Peach gets captured by Bowser and he like wants to marry her. But like he has a suit and it's at like a church and stuff, so it's similar to that. Um
yeah, I'm
I'm
surprised
trying to
they were
think of
able to keep that out of the marketing. The fact that he
yeah,
wants to
no,
marry Peach. That was
I
at
was
least one like surprising aspect of the story that I didn't see
yeah.
going in. Did you have a favorite scene in the movie?
Probably I liked when Donkey Kong and Mario like when Donkey Kong gets the flame power up and they're both like just beating the shit out of all the Koopas. I thought it was a really cool scene.
Yeah, that was cool.
Even
Oh yeah,
on
we forgot to talk about Donkey Kong though.
yeah, which
Uh,
I don't know if you know, but there's already like reports that they're gonna do a Donkey Kong spin-off.
yeah, I'm sure.
And
This thing,
they asked Seth Rogen about it and he like didn't make a comment, so it's pretty much confirms it.
it's already the highest grossing
Uh,
animated film ever.
really?
After yeah.
How? It made like 200
Oh
million,
wait,
man.
no, I'm tweaking. Hold on. Wait,
I know opening wise, it's like the best opening.
I thought it. Oh no, because I think actually no, I'm an idiot. They've been animated
They
movies that
broke
made
like
over a billion,
the yeah.
but
I will. It probably will make over a
it's
billion.
no, it's the highest opening weekend for an animated movie globally.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna have strong legs in the box office because there
What
isn't
other?
another
Yeah.
animated movie coming out until Spider-Verse, and there
Yeah.
isn't really another like movie, like a big hitter movie that's coming out until what, like Fast X maybe?
Yeah. And even that, I don't even
Like
know what the.
like Beau is Afraid is and Evil Dead are the next two, but they're not like big
Yeah.
hitters.
Yeah.
Those are more
Yeah.
like niche
I feel
films.
like Bo is afraid is gonna tank. I'm very excited for it, but I've seen like no marketing for it whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do well, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't know how
sure it's
big the
gonna be
budget was.
fantastic, but like I love
Yeah,
Ari Aster, but like I haven't seen any ads for it or any. It comes out next week. I saw one trailer and I had to look it up online.
I know. But yeah, that's why I think like this will have such strong legs. I think it'll break a billion pretty easily.
Easily, yeah, I
It's
agree.
already
It
at
hasn't. It's
400
probably one
million.
of its biggest markets. It hasn't even released in Japan yet.
Really?
Yeah, which is
When
crazy.
do you know when that happens
I
or?
think the end of April, April 28th. I want to say. I
Yeah,
could
no,
be off though.
it'll definitely cross a bill.
Yeah,
This will be the first $1 billion movie of
yeah,
the year, and maybe the only one.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't know.
I, yeah. No, I think there will be more billion-dollar. Into the Spider-Verse could probably make a billion.
Maybe we'll see.
Guardians 3 could. I don't know
Fat.
now with the superhero. It depends how good it is. If it gets good reviews, it probably will make a billion.
I feel like Fast X probably has the best chance because
What else is coming out this year? I gotta think. Maybe
even during
No,
I
not
don't,
Oppenheimer. Not
Oppenheimer,
Barbie.
Barbie. I don't think.
I don't think
That's what I'm
so.
saying. Like, there's not a lot of
Yeah.
like huge
I
heavy
don't think
hitters.
Mrs. Marvel. I doubt Blue Beetle.
The
Maybe
Flash, maybe.
not really. Maybe if Ezra Miller wasn't like a criminal, maybe. But you know, what I'm trying to think. What else is coming out this year that could make $1 billion? Let me
There's
hold
not
on.
much. There's really not much.
I'm pulling up Letterboxd.
But yeah, while you're looking at that, I'm gonna talk about my favorite scene for a little.
Yeah. I do want to touch because I did have some problems with the movie more than you did. I think.
Um, yeah, I actually really like the ending when Mario and Luigi like end up getting
Yeah,
the star,
yeah,
and
that was awesome.
it like plays that the music from the star, like
Yeah,
from the games where like when you get the star, it's like, you know, that melody. And
yeah,
they just start like beating the fuck out of Bowser.
yeah.
And then I there was also that mad funny moment at the end where like the crowd is like cheering them on and Luigi like looks in the crowd and there's that dog from the beginning
Oh
and
yeah, and they like nod heads.
he, he gives like the respectful nod
Yeah,
to him.
that was
I
actually
thought
really
that
funny.
yeah,
I
that was
forgot
mad
about
funny.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah, the ending. I mean, that they're both really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude,
yeah, what?
I don't really see anything that like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think this might be the only $1 billion this year.
Damn, dude.
2024 is gonna have some good ones though.
Let's see.
Um,
20. Oh yeah, Deadpool 3,
Also Avatar 3.
3. The Mad Max. Damn, there's a lot of shit coming out in 2024.
Yeah, the next couple of years, it's gonna be a great time to be a
Yeah.
movie lover.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's think of anything else for Mario.
But
I'm
yeah,
trying to.
so I mean, so obviously I really enjoyed the movie, but the story is like there's no depth to the story whatsoever. I mean, and again, it is a kids movie, but then like I like watching Puss in Boots I saw this year, which is probably one of my favorite anime movie of all time. Like that's a kids movie, but the story is fantastic. It's such a good story, and I feel like the characters are there. I don't know. I feel like they could have made a better like story, a little bit deeper. Like a lot of people refer to. I haven't seen the Lego movie, but apparently the Lego movie is like fantastic. The story's really good, and a lot of people are saying comparing it to that, saying like it's this big IP, and they could have made a better story around it, similar to the Lego movie.
Yeah, and I agree. It's a very surface level story.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very basic.
yeah.
Um, but I
That being
don't
said,
think.
I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it mostly for honestly
Yeah,
mostly the nostalgia
sure,
factor. Just
yeah,
like
and the animation.
seeing these characters and like hearing this music of like games that I've played my whole life growing up.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to see. Um,
What do you think they're gonna make like other Nintendo franchises?
I would say so because I
Yeah,
wanted to mention this. Like, we're starting to see the emergence of video
video.
game
Yeah,
adaptations.
I feel like this is gonna be the new like superhero movies.
Well,
Like
think about
how
it.
like
This year, the most popular movie is this Mario.
the
Most
most
popular
popular,
TV show.
The
It's The
Last of
Last
Us.
of Us. It's two
Yeah,
video game adaptations.
and
Very different,
and there's like
obviously.
a shit ton of video game adaptations in the work. I know
Uh,
Ghost of Tsushima with the guy who directed John Wick. He's attached to it. A God of War series on Amazon. They're doing a ton of Pokemon stuff on Netflix.
yeah. I
What
think
else?
you're gonna start to see maybe not as much as superhero movies, but video game adaptations are
Yeah,
gonna start to like come into the forefront because they've
pop
tried
up.
it for years.
Yeah,
The first really like decent one was Sonic.
Sonic
That kind of
probably. Yeah,
started it.
yeah,
And as we've probably seen with Nintendo in the past, they care about money over quality,
oh
clearly.
yeah. I
Especially
mean,
like
look at the Pokemon games. I'm like a big Pokemon nerd, and they like don't improve. There's the new one that just came out, Scarlet and Violet. Like it already like beat it sold more copies than any other Pokemon game ever already.
it was like unfinished when they released it,
Yeah,
right?
the graphics are like atrocious. Like the
But
games that came out in 2014 honestly look better than this. I
yeah,
mean,
they
now
don't
it's a little bit better because they updated it, but still,
they just don't give a fuck,
no, they don't.
honestly.
It's
As long as they get their bread.
yeah.
But I don't care. I mean, I like the movie, even if it is
No,
gonna be
I liked it. I thought
just
so
like,
too.
a nostalgia fest, like I'll still
That's
enjoy it.
fine. Yeah.
Um
What did you rate it?
I also gave this 4-star, 8 out of
Okay.
10. It's
Mm.
just, it's more of a personal rating. I know that it's not necessarily an 8 out of 10 movie, but I just had such a great time watching it,
Yeah.
and it brought me back to my childhood, so I loved it.
I give it a slightly lower. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 or 7 out of 10. It was, yeah, the nostalgia and the animation carried it for me. But if it wasn't for that, this movie probably would have been like a 5 or a 4 out of 10.
Yeah. I wanted to, before we move on, you want to talk about some of the
Oh,
spin-off ideas for it, maybe?
yeah. Well,
Or like sequel ideas?
I know, like me and you probably have the same one, and one in mind that we really want.
Yeah, which is
This is
Luigi's
Luigi's
Mansion.
Mansion, which is probably my favorite Mario game. I mean, it's technically a Luigi game, but it's in that family.
Yeah, and it kind of like flips everything on its head,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you have Mario getting captured, and Luigi has to be the one to
Yeah.
like step out of the
Save.
shadow. And I
It would
feel
be
like they were kind
what?
of hinting at like
Yeah, with the him and the
Luigi having to like, because as a character in the movie, it's always Mario's the one sticking up for him, and he has to learn how to like defend himself,
himself.
you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
So that could be like a big plot point in the Luigi's Mansion game.
And
And
even King Boo was at the wedding
yeah, so
for Bowser's
he's
wedding. So
canon.
he's canon. Yeah.
But I could just imagine this style of animation and movie, except like throughout like the mansion and like from the game. It would be sick. Like the
Yeah,
ghosts
and
and stuff.
what's the guy's name? Doctor what? Doctor Nefario, right?
Oh, no, that's the guy from Despicable Me.
No.
But I know who you're talking
The
about.
little fucking
What the
what's
fuck
his
is
name? I gotta look at his name. Even bro, like the third one is like that would be a really good plot for a movie too.
Luigi's Mansion? Oh,
Have you played the third one?
Professor Egad?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I played the third one, but I feel like the first one is just start with that at least.
yeah. Because
But
I
I
mean,
think in all like what they'll most likely do is do the sequel to this, and then
yeah,
maybe do like the Donkey Kong movie, and then like Luigi's Mansion, and then come back with a third one, and
yeah.
then from there just do whatever, because there's so much potential. There's so
Oh
much
yeah, there's
potential.
like they have so many games they could pull from. And so I was actually saw something online. So let's say Nintendo decides to do like multiple projects and different IPs. Would you rather them like have them all interact with each other, or just have them, if they did interact, be in like a Super Smash movie?
I think there's so much in like the Mario
No,
lore
I agree. I think if they
that they should just stick with
stick
that
with,
for now.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Like
Because even
if
like every game could just be its own, like Super Mario Galaxy, Super
yeah,
Mario Sunshine.
sign,
Like there's so much
no
shit.
many, yeah.
And then if they want to do, like, they don't even need to do a big crossover. Like
No, they
it's
don't.
not like
Yeah.
the movie's not making
It's
money
so
as
because
it
like
is.
basically every side character has their own game in that franchise.
Hmm.
And
They could do a Peach movie.
yeah,
Yeah, they could do
there's a
whatever.
lot. They didn't even introduce Wario and Waluigi.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
that. Like in my hopes for a sequel,
yeah,
I
I kind of
hope.
was hoping they pulled up at the end. That's what I was gunning
Yeah,
for.
yeah, we forgot to mention, but the post credit scene is
Yeah,
like a tease at Yoshi.
which
One of
kind
his
of
one of his
well,
eggs ends up in like the sewer in New York City or Brooklyn, wherever.
which kind of throws me off a little bit because the way the movie ends is you learn that Mario and Luigi live in the Mushroom Kingdom now, and they're plumbers in the Mushroom Kingdom at the end of the movie. But the Yoshi egg is in New York. Like it shows like where they like left off or whatever, like where they went back in the portal. Not portal.
Well,
The
maybe
tunnel.
yeah, maybe they'll go back to visit their
Yeah,
family and like find it or something.
yeah. But I if they do seek, I mean they will. But I'd rather them explore the like more of that world,
Yeah.
like the because even like
I think the next logical step though is Wario and Waluigi showing up.
yeah. I mean they could do like what is it? Not Kid. What is his name? Kid Bowser.
Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
All the
like
Mario villains.
what characters that are relevant weren't in the movie from Mario. Yoshi?
I mean, Yoshi technically was in it.
Yeah, but they went to like Yoshi's Island. There's a bunch of Yoshis running in the back. That doesn't really count.
That reminds me. That's another thing I really didn't like about the movie that pissed me off.
What?
They're like, oh, like we're gonna go on this big adventure now, and then they just show a fucking montage of them walk. Like I want to see them interact in these worlds. Why the fuck? Like it just shows them like, all right, it's like, all right, we're gonna go on this big adventure like across the whole fucking universe, and then it's just like a montage of them walking around, and then like they're just there. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to see what was going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they could have made this 2 hours instead of an hour 30 and like put in that extra shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It
Higher
wa-
runtime, bigger budget. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the budget's the problem. It's just gonna make so much money.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I actually didn't even think about that.
That I was actually pissed off because like you grew up playing in these worlds and these universes, like you want to see it, like, and it's just something that skipped over. It kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
definitely. No, you're right. What's it called?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure like a sequel is going to be
Yeah.
announced
Yeah.
imminently,
Yeah.
but just because of the sheer amount of shit we have to continue to discuss,
Yeah.
we should
We'll
probably move
Yeah.
on.
There's a lot of movie news this week.
Yeah. So, all right, jeez. Let's start this movie.
What are
news
we at
round.
already? Well, we're probably at. Oh no, actually we're at an hour, so it's not that long.
Yeah, but all right. Let's see. First things first. Captain America 4. Liv Tyler is returning as Betty Ross, and there were some set photos where you
Yeah.
see her and Anthony Mackie at a funeral. So what do you think about them bringing back these characters from the Incredible Hulk, which came out in what, like 2008, 2007, haven't been seen since, and now showing up?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're like General Ross is gonna die for some reason. I have a feeling. One, because Harrison Ford is what, 78?
He's old.
Yeah. So, and he's not a fan of doing big IPs. So for him to take this job, I feel like it had to be a one-off. And they probably just paid him a shit ton of money.
I don't know. I think he's gonna also appear in Thunderbolts.
Really?
I think so, because
I
Red
f- I
Hulk
f-
is like a huge part of that team.
I feel like they're gonna like he's gonna die and they're just gonna like name it after him.
Maybe.
Like why would Betty Ross be at? Is her name Betty Ross?
Yeah, but why would they? Yeah, but
Why would
they
she be at a
recast him?
funeral?
Why would they recast him just for one movie?
I mean, maybe if it made sense for the story.
If they're gonna kill him off anyway, they could have just been like, because the actual guy who played him died. So I
Yeah.
feel like if they had plans to kill him off in the next movie, they would have just been like, "Oh yeah, he died." Like, why would they recast him and then just kill him? It's kind of like in bad taste a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was seeing some people on Twitter were saying that in Secret Invasion, which comes out this year, I believe, they cast someone to play the president of the United States. It's the guy it's Dermot Montgomery or whatever. Dermot Mulroney, I don't know.
Let me look it up.
He was in Scream. He was like one of the killers in Scream. I'm butchering the fuck out of his name.
Dermot Mulroney?
Yeah.
MUL?
Yeah. He was the guy. He was just in Scream.
Oh, he's a cop. Oh shit.
Yeah. I like him. He's playing the president in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we know what's going to happen to him.
So, and we know already that Thunderbolt Ross is the president during Captain America 4. So something has to happen to him. So
yeah,
he's probably gonna die or be a Skrull or something. So people were saying that funeral might be that president's funeral, and
but why would Betty Ross be there?
For plot purposes, I don't know. I
don't know. I feel like he's gonna. I don't know. Something about Harrison Ford. Like I don't know. I just don't think that he would sign up to do a big thing like this unless it was like a one-off.
Or let's say the end of this, he becomes Red Hulk and he just stays in Red Hulk form and never turns back, so they could just continue to use him without bothering Harrison.
They could do that. I think that they said he said he did mocap for the movie, which if that set photo ever leaks of Harrison Ford in mocap, I'll be hysterical. I love how well.
I think for them to go out and recast him, they must have had big plans for the character.
Maybe. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I don't know why Betty Ross would be at the funeral. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Who knows? They could have just,
Yeah. I also heard a rumor that they might change the title to World War Hulk. I don't know how accurate that is, but
yeah, it's kind of crazy how it's like a Captain America movie, but it's basically a Hulk movie with all these
Yeah.
Hulk characters coming back. I think probably Mark Ruffalo shows up. I would think.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that She-Hulk's gonna show up too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk more about that when we
Yeah.
know more info. But
But
then
there's
there was a couple of trailers I want to talk about though. So we got Pixar's next film, Elemental.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you watched the trailer.
yeah, I did. It kind of I don't know. Disney animations fell off pretty hard, honestly.
Yeah, Pixar, dude. Pixar
Yeah.
fucking sucks.
I feel
man.
like honestly,
they used to be like
it's
the
because
last
of
good movie was probably Soul.
Nah, I like Turning Red.
It was alright.
Soul's probably my favorite Pixar movie, but honestly, I feel like it's the streaming.
It's possible.
Like just Disney just doesn't want to. Because even like Strange World, they did not advertise it at all.
Yeah, they didn't.
And yeah, I heard it wasn't even that bad either. It's just it didn't make any money.
Yeah, and I was probably gonna check that out just because of Jake Gyllenhaal
Yeah.
being in it, but just like no reason to. Like, why the
Yeah.
fuck am I gonna watch that?
I mean, maybe if I have nothing to do one day, I'll throw it on. I have Disney Plus.
Yeah, but yeah, the element. Anyways, back to the trailer.
Yeah, Elementals.
It's very basic. It's like a clear allegory for like racism.
Yeah.
Which is like so overdone. There's so many fucking movies about that, and it's like, oh, there's all these elements, but
They're not supposed to mix.
oh, you guys can't interact because you're different.
Yeah.
And then it's like, water falls in love with fire. Like, it's basic.
Yeah.
But I mean, the animation looks fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see it if it gets good reviews.
I don't know anyone in the cast, honestly.
I think I forget the main.
It's a bunch of no name. The lead, the only thing she's been in Fred 3 and The Tiger's Apprentice and like a bunch of like 3 other random things.
Fred 3.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had more than. I didn't even know there was a Fred movie, honestly.
That's some real cinema right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the guy who plays the water was the black dude from Jurassic World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember the one that like helps them at the end?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but
Yeah.
it looks basic. I don't know. I've lost faith in Pixar, especially. I think we talked about it earlier, but they announced like Toy Story 5 and like Inside Out 2. It's just
Inside Out 2. Actually, that makes sense. That does make sense. Toy Story 5 narratively doesn't make any sense because the whole like I didn't even see Toy Story 4, but I know like the ending is like they basically just go off on their own, right? Like Woody and Buzz separate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what story is
Toy
there
Story
to tell?
5 will probably be about like wrapping up Buzz's story, but we just got like the Lightyear movie, and like it did bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
but
we'll see.
Whatever. Another trailer we got was Asteroid City, Wes Anderson's next movie.
I've never seen a Wes Anderson movie, and now I kind of want to watch. I like the style, like the colorization of everything.
All his shit is like that.
I like the very stylized.
Like I compare watching his movies to like going to an art gallery. Like you're seeing art. Like you recognize that it's good. Like it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It's made with care. But like that doesn't necessarily mean that you like enjoy it,
I know, like what's his most famous?
Grand Budapest.
Yeah,
I actually watched that the other day and I really liked it. But I've seen most of his movies.
Like Isle of Dogs is really famous.
Yeah, I've seen Isle of Dogs, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Those are both really good.
Yeah.
But there's just something about his movies that he gets like these insane casts and they play these like really out there characters. And at points, it feels like I'm watching like a Saturday Night Live skit at points.
Really?
I just like can't take it seriously because like there's all these like famous actors and they're dressed like in these weird costumes and shit. And like I like know it's so clear that they're just like actors,
Mm-hmm.
They're not like immersed in their roles, really. Yeah. Grand Budapest Hotel though I still really enjoyed, and Ralph Fiennes plays like the main guy and he was really good. But I guess we could go see this. Maybe we'll talk about it if there's like nothing else coming out during that time.
I'm definitely gonna see it. It looks really cool. Like even just because the stylization of the movie, I really, really like.
Yeah, and Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, the guy he's playing the villain in Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, And it's got some of my favorite actors and actors, like Willem Dafoe's in it and Scarlett Johansson. I think
I
she's gonna
know.
be like one of the main characters. So
Edward Norton's in it. Bryan Cranston,
Mm.
Jeffrey Wright.
yeah, but all of his movies have these crazy casts.
Damn,
It's
bro, this cast is ridiculous. Holy shit! I'm like
yeah,
scrolling
Margot.
down, bro. Steve Carell, Willem Dafoe, Margot Robbie, Jeff Goldblum, Sophia Lillis. Who you were just talking about
hmm
actually. Edward Norton, Adrian Brody, the guy who played what the hell's his name? Wolverine's brother.
Uh,
Sabretooth. The guy
Liev
left.
Schreiber.
Yeah, him. Maya Hawke, which I actually like. I like that she's popping up in more stuff now.
Yeah, the cast is like
That's
unreal.
insane. Yeah, Jesus.
Um, but yeah, Wes Anderson is kind of like you either like him or you don't.
I feel like
You know,
I feel like, dude. What do you think? You think I'd like his stuff?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's like very, very pretentious.
Stop.
It's
Okay.
very artsy, which can be enjoyable at times, but sometimes it's a little too
Uh,
much.
a little too much. Man. That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah,
Also,
we
I
got that
didn't.
trailer.
Um, I don't know if you briefly want to touch on it. Both did see Air as well this weekend.
Oh,
If you
Air?
wanted to just, yeah, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about Air, quick.
Yeah. Air. I said Dungeons and Dragons was my surprise of the year, but it's actually Air probably.
Nah, I knew Air was
Yeah,
gonna be really good.
I didn't even know it was coming out until like a couple months ago, like 2 months
Really?
ago. Yeah. Like I saw the trailer, I was like, where the
Yeah.
fuck did this come from?
No,
It
I've
was
heard like
great.
I heard
It was great.
yeah, and the guy who wrote it, I think this was like his first movie that he ever wrote. Alex Convery, like
Yeah,
because
there's like a
that's his only credit on Letterboxd.
yeah, there's like a story with it. He basically wrote after the Last Dance documentary came out. The writer, he was just like a random like guy trying to like make it up.
Hmm.
He wrote a script. I forget what it's called, but it's like a just a script that's not written by like a writer who's hired. He just wrote a script, sent it in to a bunch of places, got its way to Ben Affleck's and Matt Damon's production company. They have like a joint production company.
Hmm.
They really liked it, and they're like, all right, we want to make this movie. So they brought him in. They had people come in and rewrite and whatever. And usually in situations like this, the people who rewrite the script get like the credit for it because they're like
Yeah,
more known. But basically, at the end of shooting, they basically went to this writer and were like, listen, like Ben Affleck went to him and was like, listen, like we're gonna give you the full writer's credit on this. Like it's your script, and we are like all about like giving people chances in Hollywood. So
it's awesome.
yeah, it's a pretty cool story,
Yeah,
and it's a great script too.
yeah. I don't know if you saw, but Ben Affleck actually before he was going to direct this, he had a meeting with Michael Jordan, like just to like get his permission to make it, and he only had one. His one request was that Viola Davis play his mom, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a great casting choice too.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
no, I'm sorry, you go.
no, yeah, Airs so far is my second favorite of the year behind John Wick. So I definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
We got some
Well,
more news though.
yeah, I know there's like a ton of trailers we got to talk about. I know
Oh,
they dropped the Secret Invasion trailer. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah, I did. That looks really cool. Secret Invasion wasn't something that I was looking forward to really, but it
Yeah,
looks like so different.
yeah. I
And
like when Marvel explores the other types of genres. You know, because
yeah,
a superhero movie shouldn't be a genre. It should be a movie. Like it can be superhero movie genres, like in horror and like in like Thor: Love and Thunder was a rom com. Werewolf by Night is a horror. This looks like a spy thriller. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they can
it
do
seems
different things.
like very Winter Soldier esque.
Yes, yes,
And I really like Samuel L. Jackson, obviously,
yeah,
and I like Nick Fury as a character.
yeah,
Um, so I'm looking forward to it. I initially had no hype for it,
yeah. I'm hoping it's
but
more of a return to form for Marvel because they've been kind of hit or miss lately.
yeah, more on the miss as of recently.
Yeah, especially with Ant-Man. But we'll see.
It looks good. It turns out Amelia Clark is playing the daughter
Of
of
Talos,
Talos,
right? Yeah.
so she's gonna be a Skrull. If you had to guess, who do you think's like gonna be a Skrull in the
Probably,
series?
probably, probably the president. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. I feel like they're not gonna do anything like insane because it's also on Disney Plus and not in the movies.
I think Martin Freeman's character might be a scroll.
Low key. Oh,
He
I
was
forgot
looking
he's in it. Yeah.
he was looking kind of sus.
Yeah.
But the
It's dead
reason
as.
it
It's
they
dead
have a
as
good
Mar. If you think about it, it's Marvel's version of Among Us.
it
Okay.
is. It's just Among Us, but Marvel. That's actually wild.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? There's a plot point you could tell in the trailer where it's like Nick Fury like doesn't want to bring the Avengers in because
Because
he
you
can't
can't
even
trust anybody.
he can't even trust them.
I think that's awesome. I think that's really really cool
And
that they.
also you start oh sorry, finish.
No, no, you go, you go.
Also you see in the trailer there's certain scrolls that have like extra powers, which is like
Yeah, yeah,
that guy like fully extends his arm out and shit. That's like
yeah,
from the comics, like the Super
yeah. The
Scroll.
Super Scroll, yeah,
So
which
I
was pretty
think
cool.
there might be a plot point where like if the scroll gets in contact like with an Avenger with powers, it can like steal their powers maybe. So
Yeah, yeah.
that might
That
be
could,
why he's telling like the Avengers to fuck off because it's like too dangerous.
yeah,
So it explains like narratively why they're not there, but it
yeah,
also like is an excuse as to why they don't have to like pay the Avengers to show up,
yeah.
the actors, you know.
I like how now we're at the point in the MCU where like we can just title thing like have just like events. Like it doesn't have to be a character as the like we're having Secret Invasion. We're gonna have Armor Wars. Like I
Mhm.
really think that's cool that we're doing events in comics as like movies and series now. It shows how far like the MCU has come.
Yeah, because these characters mostly are set up already.
Yeah,
You know, there's a few more origins that have to be told, but for the most part,
but everybody's pretty much set up, man.
yeah. And
Is
then
there any,
another,
this is a little a side note. Is there any like MCU thing that like who's like a character that they haven't said anything about that you would like want to see in the future?
in the MCU,
Yeah. Because I feel like lately there's like a ton of they've released a ton of solo movies and TV shows and like they kind of just don't lead. Nah, I mean some of them do, but like there's a lot of uncertainty about who's going to be in the next Avengers movie and stuff.
I feel like maybe Ghost Rider. I know his name has come up a lot, but like not
I
in
feel like
anything
he's
official.
I don't. Yeah, he'll maybe be in something. I know, like apparently they're gonna have another Halloween special with Mephisto, with oh my god, I forgot his name. I
Sacha
love him.
Baron.
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto, which I think is fantastic casting.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I
I
feel
could
like
totally. Oh,
what
sorry.
major characters are not in the MCU yet?
No, no, I meant like characters they like established in the MCU, like that you want to see like pop up more.
Let me think. It's a good question. I think maybe my favorite character of Phase 4, this might be a surprise, but might be Kate Bishop, honestly.
She's definitely gonna be in more stuff.
I loved her and I love the Hawkeye show too.
Yeah,
Obviously Daredevil, but they're doing a show of him, so
yeah. I don't like.
um
I mean, Moon Knight is probably my favorite Marvel character. Like I read his comic before this any of this come out. I liked Moon Knight before, and I even though the show isn't very accurate to like his character in the comics, they kind of it's like generally the same thing. Just like Stephen Grant and all the other personalities, like it's different in the comics. But I love Oscar Isaac, and I really would like him like to interact with the other superheroes.
I'm sure you will
Yeah,
too.
I think it would be funny,
Um
like, because he's like mentally unstable, and like there's all
yeah.
these like Avenger level people, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Also Namor is one that I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see come
Well,
back.
the guy who's writing Kang Dynasty said Namor is going to be in it.
Yeah. We got to speaking of Kang Dynasty, let me just quickly
Oh
mention
yeah,
the current situation on the Jonathan Major shit. So there's like reports coming out that he's like done with Marvel now. They're done with him, which
which
I don't know how trustworthy that is, but they recently put out some advertising promo for Ant-Man and the Wasp coming to digital, and Jonathan Major's face is missing from all of that promo. It just shows,
really,
yep.
I didn't
It
see
just
that.
it just
Oh
shows
shit, like
Ant-Man and
the
Wasp, that's it. When normally you would think like this big the like the huge villain that they're setting up would probably be front and center, or at least
yeah.
somewhere on the marketing, but he's not there. So
Yeah, I feel like like with Kang, like he's so like obviously he's a fantastic actor, but like the character of Kang, like the whole thing is like there's just other versions of him. So he's very easily replaceable, and they could just say, "Oh, that Kang got captured, and this is like a new Kang, like a
Yeah,
different variant." You know what I mean? So that's why
yeah,
I think
def.
like he's done. There's like they're not gonna want to play any chances, like because it's narratively it's so easy to fix. Like it's not like they have to rewrite the character. You know what I mean? Like they could just say, "Oh, another Kang." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and apparently he has had issues with people in the past, and
Yeah,
now that this happened, more and more people are coming out.
not against him. Yeah,
So
I've read stuff. He's like a piece of
I
shit.
think in Marvel's eyes, they're kind of like, okay, this happened. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. It happened after he was in one movie.
Yeah,
Like, what if we got up to Avengers? Like, what if we filmed the two Avengers movies and then he did some fucked up shit? Like, we might as well
yeah,
just get rid of him now while it's
yeah,
early,
yeah.
which sucks. But
Because like I know that like his lawyers were like, "Oh, we have video evidence and like all this shit," and it's been like 2 3 weeks and like nothing has come out.
yeah, it is
So
very strange.
it's not looking really good for him. And so like he's probably my favorite actor right now in Hollywood. But it sucks that when you look up to these people and they turn out to be pieces of shit. It's
Yeah,
Hollywood, unfortunately.
sucks. And I'm sure they'll be able to find someone to replace him
Yeah,
pretty easily.
yeah. They're gonna see that
But
Disney bag check, and
yeah. But yeah,
anyone in
speaking of,
mind that you want?
maybe
You know
John David
my
Washington.
pick.
Who? John Boyega?
Yeah.
That could work. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows? Um, I wanted to talk since we're talking so much about
So,
Marvel.
yeah.
Uh, Marvel fired their like president,
Oh, I saw
Ike
that lady.
Ike
Yeah.
Perlmutter. No, not
Oh
even
no,
her.
they fought. Oh, that.
The guy Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah. So who's the president now? Feige?
I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me read it. Look
I'm
this up
assuming
just to be
Feige.
sure.
Isn't he like? Didn't he make a ton of horrible like decisions? Didn't he want Feige fired and stuff in the past?
Yeah, yeah. Ike Perlmutter. He's the president of Marvel Entertainment. So that
So video
included,
games,
yeah,
movies, TV. Yeah.
and they fired him. Like, it's pretty huge because he's been there for like over 20 years, I believe, since like the 90s, maybe earlier.
Yeah.
Um, and he's been there throughout this whole entire successful MCU run. So to fire him now is pretty shocking to me.
Yeah. I think
But
they see that they've been pretty stagnant with their last couple movies, and they. I'm glad though that they're making a change. I feel like I want them to delay a lot of the stuff and just really focus on the quality of the content
yeah,
rather
and
than
they are
just
doing that.
yeah. Like I don't mind waiting. I don't need to see 8 MCU projects every year. You could do 2 movies and 2 TV shows, and I would be perfectly fine with that. I think that's great.
Yeah,
Like
because and also you don't want to oversaturate the market. There's so
exactly,
much
yeah,
other shit from other studios
yeah.
coming out, you
Like I
know?
feel like as of recently, I've been more excited for the DCU than I have been for the MCU.
Well, I'm
I
actually
don't know if
surprised. I'm surprisingly excited for the Flash, which I didn't think I was gonna give a
yeah, I
fuck
think the
about.
Flash is gonna be good. But like even like the Swamp Thing with James Mangold, like I when that got announced, I bought this Swamp Thing comic, and it's basically the run that um is gonna be based for the movie. Also, this is a little side note. I love that they're doing this now. They're it's a good way to like help the creators of the characters get like compensated because a lot of the times they make the movies and they don't really get any money for it. Um, is they're promoting the comic books that are like based off of the movies now with DC. I'm sure Marvel's going to start doing that too.
Yeah, it is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So I bought the Swamp Thing run, and I really like. It's like super dark, and there's a lot of body horror elements to it. So and with James Mangold attached, like I'm ecstatic. That's probably my most hyped um, DCU project.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that Marvel actually is holding people accountable. First it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Victoria
I
Alonso.
sorry. Yeah, I know I'm going way off topic.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
And now it's Mr. Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah.
So they're cleaning house. This is also kind of like a wake up call that like your job security is not safe
Not
there.
safe. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like you still have to put out good products. And
Absolutely.
I think this gives Feige more power, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Well, hopefully Guardians is
Yeah.
good. I'm sure it will be because
Yeah.
James Gunn
James Gunn.
is usually
He hasn't missed. So
yeah.
um
But yeah, since you were mentioning the DCU, there was another
Yeah,
trailer which was Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. Yeah, which
Surprisingly, I actually liked the
yeah,
trailer a lot.
at first I didn't like it, but then I saw it in the theater, and I thought it was great. Like the suit looks, I thought the suit looked cheap, but on this big screen, it looked pretty good. Um,
Yeah, I actually really like the suit. It seems to be practical,
yeah, it is.
which is
Yeah,
cool.
and it's like I don't know if you've. It's not what's his name. It's not Ted Cord. I know that's the second one. What's his name?
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, because he's the third iteration of Blue Beetle.
Let me see. I'm not too versed in the Blue Beetle
The Blue Beetle
knowledge.
lore.
Oh, Jamie Ray is.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if you see they show the other suits like in the background in a couple of the shots. Like
Yeah, I think there might be another Blue Beetle in the movie. I
that's
saw something
possible. I
that
saw yeah. Did you see the thing with the guy from Top Gun apparently being in it?
who? Which guy?
Um, the one they always fan cast is Green Lantern.
Glenn Powell.
Yeah, apparently him as Booster Gold, and then like another Blue Beetle, like the second one, Ted Cord pull up at the end. That I heard that's a rumor. I don't know how true that is.
Well, I saw something that Jason Sudeikis was gonna play like the older Blue Beetle, which
Oh,
would be
I did
pretty
see
cool.
that too, actually.
That would be
I
pretty
don't.
cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
But yeah, the trailer like it's giving me a lot of like Spider-Man vibes from his character.
I mean, he could be there as Spider-Man. He's like a young teenage character that's kind of like a nobody and just randomly gets this power.
Yeah,
And
based off an insect,
yeah.
also.
For
Um,
people that don't like know his power set, the best way I can compare it is kind of Iron Man meets Venom. It's this like suit of armor, but it's sentient. So like it kind of just does what it wants, whether it's good or bad. But it's not like it's a suit. Like it's not, like Venom's like a I don't know,
it's like a
like
life
a
form,
life
like a
form.
symbiote.
Yeah, I mean the suit's alive, but it's like forms into a suit, not like a I don't know a goo or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be fun,
Yeah,
and that's
and
that's the
apparently
first movie within the new timeline.
they say that they're saying that, but we'll see what happens.
If it flops, they'll probably
Like
just like disregard it.
Shazam's done. There's no way that like Shazam's gonna be in the DCU fall coming forward.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, another DC thing quickly.
Yeah.
Uh, Clayface is gonna appear in the Batman too.
Which I hope it's like the comic accurate, like Clayface, like giant blob monster, and not the. There's another Clayface in the comics, I believe, from the 50s. That's like I want to say he's an actor that got like he lost his job and he like just starts killing people and like stealing their faces. Which would
Yeah,
be, I mean, that would be cool because I
that would be
know
cool. Like,
yeah,
imagine like a Texas Chainsaw
that
Massacre
type of
esque
like that
like
type of
look
vibe.
in that like world.
Set, yeah. But I would rather them. I've been dying for them to lean into the fantastical aspects of Batman because he has such a great rogues gallery that they just don't touch because of the. Why are they so scared of like making a more fantastical Batman? Like
Because of because of
what
the last time they did it was like Batman Forever, where they had like
yeah.
Mr. Freeze and like Poison Ivy and shit.
But I mean, that's like way too campy. Like you can do a balance. They can make Mr. Freeze like look like like it's possible. Like oh, this guy builds like this freeze gun and like but they don't have. It doesn't have to look ridiculous. Like you can make it look
I think
realistic.
I think because Batman is typically seen as a grounded character, so they want to give him grounded villains.
Mm.
Which I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I don't think it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with you. I think they should give him like
And too fucking long that we've been waiting for. Like I want to see Man Bat and fucking all those people.
yeah.
Think
And
about how many times you've seen Joker, seen the Riddler. Not saying that I don't like those characters, but like change it up a little bit.
yeah, and I'm glad. I know the most fantastical one we've got in like a good Batman movie is probably
By Bane.
Scarecrow.
Oh, I mean he's
Cuz
not really fantastical. He's just like a chemical.
yeah, but Bane wasn't. I mean, the Bane from Nolan's movies was just like a dude. Like, did he even have Venom in that shit or no?
I think so because he had the mask.
I don't remember. I like haven't seen that movie in a long
I
time.
think no. I mean they don't like say it that he uses the venom, but I think like because he has the mask on, and like when he punches it and it like breaks, like he
Yeah,
can't fight. So I guess it's like implied. But I
but
mean the the Brave and the Bold, which is like the DCU Batman movies, I think will definitely lean into the fantastical elements.
Yeah, knowing James Gunn, I'm sure it
Yeah,
will.
yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. Like I'm
Mhm.
sure his favorite character in the DCU is Batmite. So like I'm sure he'll pop up or like referenced
Right.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that will
yeah,
be a change of pace when that movie comes out. But
yeah,
yeah, the Clayface for the Batman 2 is like a great choice, I think. I
yeah,
also think because of the city being flooded, they could either incorporate Mr. Freeze, like you mentioned, with like
yeah,
flood, like freezing over the city. It's like an easy
hmm
way to do it for him now.
yeah.
Or Killer Croc come up from the sewers. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool too. I
Um,
saw that uh the story is going to be based off, I forgot what the comic run is called, but basically it's after Gotham has like a major earthquake and the cities gets like destroyed. In this case it's the flood instead of the earthquake. And Batman in Gotham is trying to like, because it's basically like martial law. I think they don't they declare martial law at the end of the movie.
I forget. I think the military does show up
Yeah.
though.
So it like Batman's trying to keep Gotham safe, but then on the as Bruce Wayne, he goes and speaks to like government officials trying to help get funding for the city to try to build it back up. So it's like an interesting dynamic, and it'll force Bruce, because in the first one you could tell he's very like he doesn't want to go out. He's very like sheltered. I feel like this will force Bruce to come more out of his shell and come into the more like rich billionaire type of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Did you just get an alert notification from
Yeah, I
Discord?
did.
I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck was
I
that.
don't know. I don't know. I thought like, did you stop recording or something?
No, it's still recording.
Oh, okay.
Um, let's see. I believe it. I hope it is. But anyways,
I mean, yeah, it says recording. The thing's in here.
yeah. Oh, it says it Discord requested us to reconnect. Yeah, whatever. It's connected
Whatever.
right now.
All right, all right.
Anyways, yeah, all right.
What
So
were we
we'll
talking
say
about?
we were talking about the Batman too, and like
Oh yeah,
and that story of like martial law and shit.
yeah,
But yeah, well, we still don't know much about
yeah. Yeah, no, this is all
that.
just
It's gonna
speculation.
it's starting filming at the end of this year, I believe. So
You know what's crazy is Superman like Legacy is coming out before Batman 2.
really,
Yeah, which is kind of wild.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming out like November 2025, and Superman's in July.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But yeah, wait. I'm looking at this. There's actually a couple more trailers I forgot about.
I mean, they had the Star Wars celebration. There's like we got
Wait, do you wanna? Let's just do these trailers though, quick, because
yeah. I mean, that's the trailers that was talking about, like the Ahsoka trailer.
I was talking about Spider Verse,
Oh yeah.
Cross the
But
Spider
how
Verse
many
trailer.
trailers dropped this weekend, dude?
Dude, at least like 6, I think.
Yeah.
So the Across the Spider Verse trailer was way better than the first one, I think, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sort of like gives you more of an insight into the story.
Sorry, yeah.
Um, so Miles does something. Like I don't know. I know there's a
I
line where Spider-Man 2099 is like, "Oh, you can't like save everyone or something," and he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I can," or whatever, and then he's getting chased by like every Spider-Man. I don't know if he's choosing to save like Gwen, but that like
No,
fucks up
I
the
think it's gonna be
timeline.
his. I think it's gonna be his dad.
Oh, does his dad like die in the comics? I forget.
Yes, he does. I know he died. He dies in the game. Remember
Oh
at the
yeah.
protest? Yeah, he does. So
Hmm.
I mean, I mean, that would probably make sense. Or people were saying like maybe he doesn't want to kill the Spot, and like
Oh
it's about that.
yeah, but why would the whole Spider-Man people go after him? Why don't they just go kill the Spot?
Maybe he's only on his. I don't know. It's probably, and then maybe it doesn't have to. I don't know. Who knows?
But yeah, the animation looks super crisp.
Yeah.
It looks really good, as
I like
expected.
all the different like Spider Punk is going to be voiced by David. What's his name from Get Out?
Daniel Kaluuya,
Daniel. Not sorry, not David.
close.
Yeah, the guy who plays the cab driver in Deadpool is playing. What is his name? I don't want to butcher it. It's like I don't want
Spider-Man,
to.
it's just Spider-Man India, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think he has a name. I'm gonna look it up. I also heard rumors that there's gonna be live action segments in the movie.
Yeah, and if that is the case, I think that'll probably be like Tom Holland.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't really, I don't know. I don't see how else they could, because that kind of leaves a lot of like
Yeah.
ramifications.
Oh yeah, it is Spider-Man India. You're right.
Um,
The cast actually stacked, dude.
yeah, it is pretty stacked. I know Haley Steinfeld plays Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Um,
Oscar Isaac obviously is Miguel O'Hara. And then, I do think that the like Tom Holland and all them will pull up at one point.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I saw something that they're saving them for the third movie.
Possible.
So
I know. I saw a rumor that Electro was going to be the villain of the third one.
Electro,
Yeah, I don't know how true that is though. And there was I
possible.
forgot. I saw that there were rumors of. I saw something that like they wanted Jim Carrey to play him.
Jim Carrey's supposedly retired, so
Yeah,
maybe.
we'll see. What's the next one called? Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And it was originally Across the Spider-Verse was supposed to come out this weekend, but it got delayed.
Well, no, this weekend of last year it was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
No,
trailer.
of this year, I think.
Nah, it
Oh
was
no, I'm
20.
sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jim Carrey. It was Adam Sandler.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Adam Sandler Electro.
Yeah.
That would be
Unless I don't know.
insane.
So apparently there's some rumors about this, like the next movie, Mayday, which will be is Peter B. Parker's daughter will be grown up, and then Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, and Penny Parker will be like more featured in the story than this one, and that Toby, Andrew, and Tom will be in the movie.
Possible. I mean, we got to get through this one first.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it looks really good. I want to rewatch the original because
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I remember liking it. Like I really enjoyed it, but people like say it's like the best animated movie ever made, and I watched it.
I think it's the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
I watched it before I was really like into movies like that, so
Oh, okay.
I didn't really pay attention as much as I would now.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to that. It's coming out next couple months.
Yep.
Last trailer though, Barbie.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great trailer.
I loved it. Yep.
And the movie looks sick. Like the cinematography and like the sets and everything and
the music. The cast is stacked, like yeah. And Greta Gerwig.
It seems like it's gonna be funny too. And she makes like you remember how funny Lady Bird was.
Yeah.
So she's a great writer.
Yeah. I would love her to do Supergirl. But I don't know if she would. But honestly, this is Warner Brothers, and this is a pretty big IP. Like I thought she would do only really like artsy type of indie stuff. But I mean, this is Barbie's like a major IP, and Warner Brothers is a huge studio. So
sure, if she gets enough money and the right talent, she'll do whatever.
She's also writing Snow White for Disney.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Mm.
But yeah, the trailer looks great. I'm not fully sold on Ryan Gosling yet as Ken. Margot seems to be a great Barbie, but
we'll see. I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm not the biggest Ryan Gosling fan. I can't lie. I
don't
know why. I've seen a lot of his movies, and he's in some great movies, but I don't know. Something about him I just don't really like.
That's fair.
But yeah, Barbie looks good. Let's see what else we got. A couple reboots / sequels announced. Firstly, live action.
5. Oh, I mean that was the one I was getting.
All right, yeah, we'll do Shrek 5 first. Shrek 5. Apparently, the original cast is coming back, and they're hyped to come back.
And there's also they said there's rumors that they might do a Donkey spinoff. Which,
yeah.
I mean, if the story's right, because I wouldn't like Puss in Boots going into that. I didn't really expect anything, but if it's it's the same people attached, then I'm all for it.
And dude, like, what the fuck do you want me to say? Like Shrek 5. Obviously, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
Like, there's nothing else to be said.
And I'm hoping. Do you think they'll do like the style that they did with Puss in Boots, like the animation style?
I don't think so, because I don't think it really matches with like Shrek. It's kind of like nimble, like quick fights and
movement,
shit.
Yeah,
it could still be animated like well, but I don't think it's gonna be that style.
Do you think Puss in Boots will be in it?
I would say yeah.
Probably,
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they're gonna like continue off where it left off, which would mean like Shrek has all these kids now and like all this shit, or if they're gonna kind of like make a new timeline.
So, yeah. No, I think it'll be continued, but it'll probably be like a brand new story, like not attached to any of the other movies.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, once we get more info on that, we'll relay that. Live action Moana is what I was trying to bring up before.
Oh Lord. The Rock going
The
to
Rock,
shove his giant ego in another project.
my favorite actor.
Lately, I've been on the Rock hate train after all the shit drop with him, low-key. Not gonna lie.
Told you, bro.
I'm
I'm
joining
always,
the I'm
I
joining the
was
Rock hater side.
I was always the biggest hater on The Rock, but I saw this shit coming, bro. To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, all what pissed me off was a lot of the stuff with the Shazam stuff because I really like Shazam as a character. I know people have problems with Zachary Levi, whatever, and like him, like he actively made decisions that like hurt the movie. But don't get me wrong, it still flopped. It's not because of him. Don't get me, but he did like I don't know. He definitely didn't help the movie. Like
Yeah.
he refused to do a cameo on the like Shazam is Black Adam's main villain. Like, wouldn't you if you're so passionate about the character, wouldn't you want to cross over with Shazam?
He doesn't give a fuck, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's just The Rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's gonna come back to play his character that he played in the original animated movie. I think this might be the quickest ever turnaround from going from animated to live action. I think the movie came
Yeah.
out 7 years ago, and they already
Yeah.
announced a live action version.
You want to hear something crazier?
What?
They're doing this instead of doing a Moana 2.
Bruh.
Yeah,
What?
so.
What? I've never even seen Moana, honestly.
Neither have I. I heard it's good. I mean, I want to watch it. I just haven't got the chance. But I just I can't. Like, can you picture The Rock? Like, I don't know, dude. He's gonna have a song number and shit.
Bro, I just don't get like why. Why don't they just make Moana 2?
I don't know, dude.
Like, I can't think of a reason why. Do they think the live action one's gonna make more money?
They think The Rock can pull in, things, but that's been proven that he can't with I can't speak with Black Adam.
Yeah. It's
Well,
crazy. It's a crazy world we live in these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be even crazier reboot though. Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm not a big Harry Potter person, so I don't really doesn't bother me. But how do you feel about it? I know you're a little bit more passionate about that than I am.
I am not a big fan of this idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fucking way they're gonna get 3 actors as perfectly cast as they did for the original movie. But yeah, for those of you that don't know though, they're basically HBO and Warner Brothers are rebooting Harry Potter completely. And they're doing a series on HBO Max. Each season is one of the books, which they can fully flesh out more of the storylines that were left out of the movies. Because you'll have
that I feel like will be cool. Like to explore things. That's what I think they should focus on. Is focus on the stuff that was not shown in the original movies. Like obviously, yes, be true to the source material, but stand on your own. You don't want to be an exact copy of the original. Then what's the point? You know what I mean? What's the point of even watching it if it's the same thing as the original?
But the Harry Potter franchise is so good. It's just so good.
I mean, I have to watch all. I mean, I've seen them all, but I forgot a lot of it.
I recently rewatched them with because Hogwarts Legacy came out.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies who's into video games a lot, he wanted to buy the game because it's supposed to be a really good game, but he'd never seen the movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll rewatch them with you.
Movies, yeah.
Dude, they're actually so good. The worst one is a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. They're so fucking good. They're so consistent. And
I mean, I guess when you have source material like that, it's not that hard.
Yeah. And all the characters are just so well cast. I don't who's going to play Harry? I
don't know. I mean, it'll definitely get views. People will watch.
Yeah, no, for sure. It'll definitely do well. But the thing is, within Harry Potter, there's so much lore and so much shit to explore.
So that's why I'm saying this may be good at the end. Maybe they're gonna. I mean, I know you read the book, so maybe they'll.
But I would rather them, let's say, do a story set in the past and get 3 new kids, not Harry, Ron, and Hermione. A different story with 3 different kids and follow them through the years.
The problem is that
within that world,
they have to make a story. With this, they have the story right, so it's like faster to get. You know how long it would take for them to actually like it would probably be 5, 6. I'm not. It's probably gonna be 5, 6 years till this comes out.
Yep.
But you know, I feel like because they tried it with
I don't know. I
Fantastic
mean,
Beasts.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it, but
Because like I mean, I haven't really seen the Fantastic Beasts, but I know just from like my knowledge of Harry Potter that the Fantastic Beasts is like a book within the lore of Harry Potter, right? It's like a textbook in the world.
yeah, it's not a textbook, but it's like this book written about within that world of Harry Potter. That's like
Yeah,
just about. It's not even a book. It's kind of just like a guide to like all like fantastical creatures within the
yeah,
world. So they took the author of that book within the universe and like made a movie about him.
yeah. So
And then
like,
they eventually like they start like going more into like Dumbledore's past and shit like within the next two movies. I only saw the first two. I didn't see the third one that
I
came
heard
out.
the third one's like not bad, but they just did
Yeah,
horrible at
the
the.
first two were like decent. Like they weren't anything crazy, but I
Yeah,
enjoyed them, you know.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, you're right. They tried to do shit within the universe and it kind of like flopped. So they're like, fuck it. Like, how
yeah.
can we make guaranteed money? But we'll see.
And
I mean, everything is bound to get rebooted at some
yeah,
point. So
do you think it's been enough time for them to do it? I mean, for me, like I never was really a big Harry Potter fan, so I don't really care that they're like I don't even know if I'll watch it. If I watch the trailers, maybe, but I don't
I
know.
don't know. I feel like it's been what,
Yeah,
like
if whoever's
10
listening,
years.
I'm curious what like because I'm not a big Harry Potter person. Yeah, I mean, obviously, comment on Instagram, the Apple Podcast, YouTube, whatever. Like how you guys feel about it. Because I don't really I don't mind it. I don't really care. I just maybe it's because I'm not like a Potterhead or whatever. I can ask my friend Emily because she loves Harry Potter what she thinks about it.
Man, if it's great, if it's like really great, then fine.
Obviously, no one's going to say
But
anything, but
the
the
chance,
odds of it being really great are very slim.
yeah. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll I don't know. When more shit comes out about that, like
That's like years away. We'll figure it out.
yeah. And then there's two more things we got to talk about before we move on to the last movie. One is the news we've been waiting for since we started this podcast,
Oh yes,
which is the first look at the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And we got a release date of this year.
which I've been saying that since the day. Back me up. Have I been saying it's going to come
Nah,
out this year?
you have. I doubted it. I thought it would be beginning of next year. But the film is releasing October 27th of 2023, which is we're in April, dude. That's only fucking 6 months until
Yeah,
FNAF.
so we're probably going to be getting a trail. When's the next Blumhouse movie coming out this year? Or do they have one coming out?
Exorcist, maybe.
No, that comes out in November.
I'm sure they have other shit. I just can't think of it. But
Mm,
yeah, we got our first look, dude. And like the costume, like you only see the back of Freddy's
but
costume.
it looks great.
It looks really good. Yeah, it looks really accurate, and it's just like it's like an actual animatronic. It's not CGI.
Yeah.
Some
And
people think it's Golden Freddy because like he's missing an ear.
the ear. That's I saw too.
I low-key think I at first I didn't think so, but when I was looking at it more, I do kind of think it is Golden Freddy because like Freddy's fur I think is a little darker usually.
Yeah, it's like the brown. I don't know if you saw too, but they also announced that it's gonna go straight to streaming and release in theaters on the same day, which I'm fucking annoyed about because then they wonder like why these movies fail. Why would you release it the same day on streaming? Like it just you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. It doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I mean, the reason that they gave was that they're gonna like when they advertise, they're gonna be like, go to the theaters to see it. Like go to the theaters first, but if you can't, it's on Peacock, and it's gonna be. They said it's more for like the hardcore fans that want to like go back and rewatch it and like look for Easter eggs and shit.
I want to see what the budget is. I feel
Probably
like it's
low.
not. It's probably gonna be like 25, 50 million.
Nah, it's more than 25. I don't know. It might be
This one says 150 million. I doubt that.
I'd say it's around 100 if I had to
Really?
guess.
No, I doubt for a fucking straight to streaming movie.
An half though, dude. It's
It's
gonna, bro. It's
100,000.
100 mil.
Yeah, 100 mil. I'm sorry. That's a lot, dude.
Bro, I think it'll make more than 100 mil in the box
And that
office.
means it's gonna have because if it costs 100 mil plus advertising, let's say it's 200 mil in total, it has
You know,
to make over 300, like over 200 million dollars between, and it's releasing on streaming the same day.
you don't think it's gonna make 200 mil at the box office? Do you realize how
I
big
mean,
FNAF is?
I don't know, dude. I bet it could. Actually, this is technically another video game adaptation. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. There's a lot
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah.
But
There's no
dude, I'm
budget out
so
yet.
hyped. We're gonna have to get like
Nah, I
whole
have
enti-
I'm wearing the fucking Freddy costume, dude. I don't give a
we're gonna
fuck.
have to have a whole entire like watch party, everyone to
Yeah,
pull up to
dude.
go see it in the theater. I'm wearing my FNAF hoodie.
I got my Freddy Fazbear costume.
Yeah, we gotta
I,
go hard for that.
yeah.
That's gonna
Apparently,
be
it's gonna
so funny.
it's based off the first three games.
Yeah, because within the games, like I haven't played them. I mean, I've played like
Yeah,
here and there,
I played like the
but
first one a little bit. I've been playing the new one lately.
but there's not much like plot. A lot of it is through like references and like Easter eggs you could find in the game that give you like some sort of story, but like
Yeah,
nothing really happens within the game that is like plot driven.
yeah.
It's just like you have to survive each night, and then like more of the story is revealed as you do.
The new one is very plot driven,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
honestly I like. What did you think of the game? The new
I
one.
mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun
Yeah, I
to
thought it was
it
fun.
was
Yeah,
fun to play.
yeah. I'd
Um,
love for them to adapt that. I feel like that would be a really good story.
I think they're gonna adapt some aspects of it because there's a character in that new game like Vanessa or like Vanny the
Yeah,
bunny,
and they're pulling, and she's gonna be in this, right?
and yeah, they cast someone as Vanessa who's like a
Yeah,
security guard, which is they're probably gonna just mix and match to make a good story.
yeah. And
The
they
cre-
and
the creator of the games like helped with he wrote the script
yeah,
or at
and
least helped with it.
the guy playing William Afton, which is basically the creator of the animatronics, he said he signed a 3 picture deal.
So yeah,
So
they definitely have plans for this.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, very exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah,
And then the last thing we could talk about is they had a Star Wars celebration
yeah.
and revealed a couple things, a couple big things actually. One of which being
3 movies, I believe, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
three
3.
movies and Daisy Ridley's returning as Rey in a
For
film set 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker.
what are the odds that Oscar Isaac and Jonathan Boyega pull up?
I would say pretty high. I don't see why not.
They have the chance to redeem the entire uh, sequel trilogy by making one change that would make so much more sense for the story. Is making Finn a Jedi. Can they like if they? I would be so happy if they do that.
It's like
Because
hinted at that he is.
he is force. They like it is hinted at, and the director said he is force sensitive, so it's not out of the realm for him.
And they have to make Finn and Poe gay for each other also.
Honestly, like that felt like a better relationship than Rey and Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Raylo, I didn't really get that.
No, I was so
honestly.
stupid.
Like
I hated it.
Yeah, and it sucks that Kylo's dead.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't-
dude. Adam Driver is such a. I mean, they could always bring him back as a Force ghost.
Yeah, but what the fuck's he gonna do? Like, I don't know. He's gonna be walking out as a Force ghost the whole time. I don't know.
And then they also announced with again James Mangold, another fantastic director, will be doing an origin movie to the Jedi. He said it's referenced like it's very biblical. He said 10 Commandments type of movie about like where is the Force from? Like how did the Jedi come to be? It's set 25,000 years before the first movie. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, that seems very interesting, and it's
Yeah.
very disconnected from like all of the lore and shit.
And I feel like that's their best way to like, make successful movies is just to do their own thing for now. Like we had the Skywalkers, and honestly, you know what? Let them do the Rey thing. That's fine. But they also have this, and then they have the Heir to the Empire movie, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the third movie, which is
Yeah,
gonna be from the people who do Mando, like the Mandalorian, Book of Boba
Yeah.
Fett, all that shit. They're gonna do like a big event movie where they have all these characters come together for a climactic like end of the Mandalorian,
Yeah.
end of Ahsoka, and like all that shit, which
yeah,
will be pretty cool.
yeah.
Um,
And they're gonna I'm assuming that the plot of the movie is gonna be that Grand Admiral Thrawn returns, and he's just gonna be like the heir to Vader, and just kind of try to like reconnect the Empire. That's what I'm assuming it's gonna be about.
yeah, and spoiler alert, he's gonna fail because he's not around during the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, so yeah.
But one thing that I wanted to mention was like, so in The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda or Grogu is 50, and he's like a little baby. So by the time Rey's movie comes out, how old will he be? Like 100 something?
Yeah.
So he could be like a Jedi in her new order.
Yeah. I mean, honestly though, I'd rather them just do like their own like original Jedis. Like they don't have to connect everything.
Yeah, but I feel like
It's like now in Mandalorian, he left the Jedi Order, so he's not, you know.
Yeah, that's true. He could be a Mandalorian Jedi.
I mean, haven't really watched the Mando episodes. Apparently, the last two are like gas, but we'll see.
Oh, bro, Mando fucking sucks this season.
I watched like the first. Like, I'm just not engaged. The most fun I had was when they fucking did that pirate group.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, not that it sucks, but they shifted the focus from Mando, from Din Djarin to Bo-Katan.
I heard that.
I never watched like Star Wars Rebels or like whatever, so I'm not gonna. I don't care about her character that much
because they don't really do a lot of backstory with her. She's just I feel like you have to watch Rebels.
So for me, someone who doesn't know shit about any of that, you have Mando, who's this fucking awesome like Mandalorian guy, and then like he has his own show, and then in the third season he just kind of like gets bitched out, and like a female Mandalorian just takes his spot, and they don't really explain it. He hasn't done anything the whole season. I don't know what his motivations are. I don't know what he wants or like why he does what he does. He gave up the Darksaber in the last episode. Spoiler alert, he gave it to Bo-Katan.
I mean, I figured that was happening. He didn't even want it at the end of the third one. I mean, the second season, right? Second season?
Yeah. So he's like getting bitched out of his own show, and like he's the reason why I'm watching the show. So sucks.
They said like narratively, they like this season is more focused on like the Mandalorian as a people as opposed to, like Mando himself, like Din Djarin.
Yeah.
Which like, do I think that's the best decision? No, but like I get why they're doing it. It kind of makes sense because I'm assuming like they're gonna do something with them taking back Mandalore in the season. You know what I mean? Like I think they're trying to set that up.
Yeah, just disappointing, but because in the first season, like it was fucking awesome. It was like one of the best shows.
It was like this
Western
type of, like I don't know, like him and like him finding like Grogu, and like I thought it was just gonna be about them just kind of exploring the universe and doing bounties and stuff, and now it's like,
yeah,
you know.
But anything else from that Star Wars shit you want to talk about, or?
Not really. The next Star Wars celebration is going to be in Japan, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool. All right. You want to move on to your film? You want to give it a nice intro?
Yeah. So, honestly, I knew nothing about this movie. I just picked it off of the rating. It's called The Handmaiden, which is a film that takes place in the 1920s, I believe, right?
I think the 30s, but
30s. I'm sorry. In Korea when Japan was occupying it. So, it's about this. I mean, it's about this woman that she's a handmaiden for this rich girl, but like then it turns out that she's stealing from her, but then like the other girl is actually like I don't know. It's very. Maybe you could explain it better because it is confusing.
It's a very confusing plot. Yeah, honestly, I don't think you knew what the fuck you were getting into.
No, honestly. I didn't. I just saw it was a 4.3 on Letterboxd. I was like, all right.
So yeah, it's directed by what's his face? Park Chan-wook, who's most famous for his film Old Boy, which is like known as one of the greatest movies ever made. So yeah, like you were saying, it follows this handmaiden. She's getting sent in with this rich Japanese family by her uncle to pretend to be like the handmaiden and like pretend. I think he tells her to like seduce the woman.
No, he tells her to like push her to fall in love with him.
Oh, yes, you're right. So he's basically trying to get this rich Japanese lady to fall in love with him. So sends in this handmaiden to like just be with this
Yeah.
lady all the time. But what happens is the lady starts to develop feelings for the handmaiden. So she starts to like come on to her instead.
Yeah.
But then you find out it's part of even this bigger plot where the uncle actually told the lady to pretend to fall in love with the handmaiden.
So that
So
like they could throw in a what?
they could throw her in a madhouse for some reason.
Yeah.
And
And then she would like they'd split the inheritance and then like they wouldn't stay married. It was just like a formal marriage.
mhm. So you have these two people that both think that they're like getting the better of the other one,
Yeah.
but neither of them are in the end because
Yeah.
spoilers for the ending. But the handmaiden and
The
the
girl,
lady
yeah,
actually fall in
fall in
love
love
and
and
fuck over the other guy.
yeah. And they escape to China, I think. Right?
Yeah,
They go to
and
China.
it's really it's a movie about it's about like being sexually repressed.
Yeah.
It's about sort of like coming to terms with who you are, you know?
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
seems like so forbidden at first, especially when they first start like
Yeah.
realizing they have
They
feelings
have
for each
feelings for each
other.
other. Yeah.
And it's very powerful in those themes. And I've seen that done in other movies before
Yeah.
and I've seen it done better,
Hmm.
honestly. Like The Piano Teacher comes to mind. Or Portrait of a Lady on Fire is another one. But
Hmm.
it's still a very well made movie.
Yeah. I like the cinematography is great. The house that there's this like hybrid like Western Japanese house that they have that like most of the movie takes place in, and like it looks awesome.
Yeah. I really like the score. The score was very like eerie and like
Yeah.
detached almost.
Hmm.
Um, Set design was really good.
Yeah.
I just think the story is just a little bit too confusing.
Choosing, I agree. Yeah.
It was very hard to follow,
Yeah.
and by the end, I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Look, at the end I got it, but like I remember like when they first revealed that the maid like wasn't she's like from like I mean the girl like was trying to cross her too. I was like, wait, I was like so confused. But then when
Yeah,
they do the passport shit, I was like, oh, okay, now I know what they're doing. But wait,
yeah.
why does the guy, the uncle, why did they like cut off his fingers and shit? Like what was like the reason? Because he let them escape?
I believe so. I think
Okay.
they're punishing him for like letting them escape.
Okay. Probably. I figured it was that, but like they don't really say anything. They just kind of pick him up and just fucking bring him to the guy's basement.
Yeah. I like how the handmaiden, what's her name? It's like
Soka.
Suki.
I think it's Sooka.
I think it's
Oh,
Sookee.
EE. I'm sorry.
So it's like
Soki.
Suki or something.
Suki.
I'm just gonna call her the handmaiden because I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna be mispronouncing it. She sort of like narrates through the film,
Yeah.
and I like that because it helped me understand like what she was thinking. And I also think like showing not telling is better usually, but in this circumstance, there was just too much going on that having that narration really
Yeah.
helped. Um,
Oh, that girl who plays Suki is in Mr. Sunshine too.
Mr. Sunshine.
Isn't that the movie you just said?
Wait,
What was the movie you just said that they did it better in?
I said Portrait of a Lady on
Not
Fire.
and then there was another one.
The Piano Teacher.
Never mind. I thought this was Sunshine.
What's Sunshine? The fuck are you
It's like
talking?
another thing that she was
Oh,
attached
Mr.
to.
Sunshine. I see.
Sunshine, yeah.
Dude, that looks like a TV show. It says
Yeah,
1800
I saw it
minutes.
after, yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I also enjoyed the camera work. I liked how a lot of the shots were framed.
Yeah, yeah,
And you could tell it's like he's a really good filmmaker, this guy.
yeah,
Um I'm surprised I'm like kind of surprised by like how highly rated this is.
yeah.
I don't think it's as good as Old Boy and the ratings are very similar. You would like Old Boy, by the way. You should check it out.
Yeah. Isn't it like a crime type of thriller? Like is a murder or something?
It's like a revenge story. It's about this dude gets locked up for 7 years for what he thinks is no reason. He escapes and like gets revenge on his captor. But like there's a bunch of like plot twists along the way and shit. Same director.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, also I liked how they kind of like delved into the lady. Her name's like Lady Hideko or something. I'm just gonna call her the lady.
Yeah.
And she's like a very flawed character. Um, she feels this guilt because her mother died in childbirth. So she sort of feels like it's her fault for doing it. And then also her aunt
Killed
herself. And she
And
seems
you could
like
tell you could tell she struggles with her mental health as well.
yeah, she seems like a very lonely character.
Yeah.
And that's why like she's susceptible to like fall in love with the handmaiden when she eventually comes in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was surprisingly sensual, the movie. There's a lot of like not a lot, but the sex scenes are like
very intense.
Intense, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's one of my favorite scenes was like the first time that they have sex. It's like
when she's telling him like what the guy is gonna do to her.
Yeah. It's basically like they're justifying it. They're justifying them doing it by saying like, "Oh, this is what the count's gonna do."
She's like, "Oh, yeah, I want to like, can you teach me like what to do to the count?" Like she wants to like no like because she's a virgin in the thing, so she wants to learn to have sex basically.
Yeah, and I also like the scene with the thimble when she's like,
there was like a lot of like scenes that like weren't sexual there's a lot of sexual tension in.
Yeah, and you could like it's just so nuanced, and you could tell by like how the actresses are performing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They both were fantastic.
Yeah. Those are two of my favorite scenes probably. Yeah. But I think that like when they revisit that sex scene later on the second time, I think it's like a little bit too erotic. It's kind of like over the top. Like I forget who says it, but but one of them says to the other. I remember I wrote it down because it was like so ridiculous. She was like, "I wish that I had breast milk so I could feed."
Oh yeah.
Like what the fuck? Like it just becomes like overly. I know it's literally them having sex, but it's like overly like sexualized, and I thought that was a bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
But also the ending scene. Like what is the deal with that with those bells?
I don't know. I have no idea. I was so confused at the end.
The only thing that I could think. Okay, so the movie ends like they end up leaving on a train, and like the last scene of the movie is the two ladies. They're like naked and they're like sitting up on a couch and like kissing, and they take like these bells, these like not I don't know if they're bells or like these little balls on like a rope that they were like using at the beginning of the movie. Like they were being used as a form of punishment.
Yeah.
So she was getting like the lady was getting like whipped with them at the beginning, like whatever.
But he said her uncle, not I forgot. It's her uncle, right? The older dude.
Yeah.
I think he says like next time you think of something, ring these bells or so. He makes a comment. I forgot what it is.
So yeah, so they basically take the bells and like it's kind of she uses the bells to pleasure herself.
Yeah.
Basically. And it's just like, why? Like
the
movie could have just ended before showing that scene.
Yeah, I didn't know how much.
It gets way too erotic.
Yeah, but the sexual stuff was a little like too much in my opinion.
The only thing that I kind of got from that was like she took something that in her past was used for
causing her pain, and she's using it for pleasure.
Yeah, that's okay. Like if that's the case, then okay. But
yeah.
Like the movie could have just cut when they leave on the train. Like I feel like that scene was just unnecessary.
Or even when they were on the boat, they could have just cut it there. That would have been fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I also the actress who plays the Handmaiden, it's actually her first film.
Oh, really?
Pretty
Wow,
crazy,
I
and
didn't
I
know
was,
that.
like,
Yeah.
looking into it, and she was apparently, like, very, very nervous, especially during, like,
I mean, I don't blame her.
the sexual scenes.
Yeah, those seem like they're very, very intense. Imagine doing this as your first acting job.
I know, and the director apparently, on the days that they had to, like, film those scenes,
Hmm.
he made sure every single male coworker, like, had the day off.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, that's
yeah,
good. Oh, yeah,
and,
that's
like
really nice.
they would film the scenes, like, just them 2 in the room, and, like, he would, like, just be overseeing it from, like, outside the room, like, he would set up the camera and, like, leave so that she felt more comfortable.
All right, that's actually that's awesome. I like that he's
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
What did you rate it?
I gave the movie a 4 star, um, 8 out of 10. All these movies so far I gave 4
Yeah,
star, but
yeah. I give it a 4 star as well. 8 out of
I
10.
see, like, how good the film is, and I did enjoy a lot of aspects of it, but there are a bunch of things just holding me back from, like
Yeah, yeah. And also, I feel like I mean because it is. I watched it with subtitles. I didn't watch it in English. So it's sometimes it could be like not to any fault of the movie, but like when you're watching a movie in a different language, sometimes like I feel like things get interpreted differently. Like that scene with the breast milk, like that could have been like sometimes there's like words in other languages that there's no words for in like
yeah.
other. Not saying like that there's no other word for breast milk, but it could have been like a different like it was in context. It would have made a little more sense why she said that. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
That, like, super erotic stuff was just, like, unnecessary
Yeah.
to the film, I feel like.
Like I feel like they like I feel like the sex scenes happened and like oh okay, but then like they just kept getting going on and on. And I
Yeah,
was like,
and I think but like mentioned before, like, a big theme of the movie is, like, sexual repression. So it's
yeah,
them, like, breaking out of that and, like,
yeah,
sort of rebelling and doing all this shit because 1930s Korea, I don't think was that happy if there was lesbians running around, you know?
no. Well, they
So,
weren't even. It was being occupied by Japan at the time.
yeah, but either way, like, that was not something that was, like, accepted back then.
No. It still isn't accepted there right now.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Did you have a favorite scene in the movie?
Um, honestly, like when at the end, actually, like what the scene when she's reading the book to all those guys in the room, and you see how they all react.
I didn't really understand what was happening in that scene.
I think they were trying. The uncle was basically trying to auction off the niece. That's what I think. That's what I took away from it.
For her to get, like, married to one
Yeah,
of them?
that's what I think.
It's possible. I think maybe they just might have, like, paid to, like, hear the story told by her for,
Yeah,
like,
I
their
mean it's
own, like,
possible. Yeah,
pleasure or whatever.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
yeah, favorite character, I guess it's really could go either way, but
yeah,
probably preferred the Handmaiden overall.
yeah. I agree.
Um,
I feel like you feel for you.
yeah, and there's definitely some aspects I'm missing because I watched this, like, a week or so ago. I know you finished
I watched
watching
it
it
this
this morning.
morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything
I
else
definitely
stand out
gotta.
to
I
you in the
gotta.
movie?
I gotta read the movie like a little bit more about the movie before I pick it next time, and not just do a blind one.
No, I'm still glad I watched
No,
it.
yeah, I watched it, but like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been better movies to watch. Oh well.
It's alright. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's that was a very interesting one. That's not a typical cool, epic, awesome pick.
Yeah, that was like a very different thing for us. Usually we do more of the campy stuff.
Yeah, and I've seen films like that before though, and I tend to enjoy them for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess now that that's wrapped up, we could move on to a couple questions that we got.
Let's go.
Fucking go. Hold on. Let me pull these up. So I got one from a longtime question asker, Sophia. Sophia.k.ua on Instagram. She asks, it is rumored that the deal is close for the Harry Potter series, with each book having its own season. Which season would you look most forward to? Good
That's
question.
more for you because I don't really know. Like,
I would probably look forward to the fourth season, the fourth book, which is
Is it the
when they
Goblet of Fire?
yeah, the Goblet of Fire, when they have the
Isn't that the
Triwizard
game?
Tournament.
Is there like more shit that they missed during that?
Yeah,
Like
so
other games?
in the movie, like, there's all these trials, but,
Yeah.
like, for example, when they have to fight the dragon, it only
Yeah.
shows Harry fighting the dragon. It doesn't show, like, the other 3 contenders fighting the
Oh,
dragon.
okay.
That,
Oh,
like, is
they get
something that
pieced up?
yeah.
Damn.
Wait, you're asking if they got fucked up by the
Yeah,
dragon?
yeah.
No,
I'm
no, they
assuming
didn't.
so.
They
Oh,
didn't,
they
no.
didn't?
Yeah,
Oh,
they all
damn.
they all finessed, but, like, it didn't show anything, and, like, that's just something that had to get glossed over because, you only have so much runtime in a movie,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and I would say the 7th because that's the longest book, but that was also split into 2 movies.
Did they miss
So
anything in those?
I'm sure they did, but not anything crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the 4th because I feel like that whole idea of, like, that tournament could be fleshed out way more because there's a lot more characters being
Yeah.
introduced. There's 2 other schools coming in besides Hogwarts.
That's like one thing I never understood is why don't they try to do something with the other schools?
They
Like in
could.
a like that I feel like you know what I mean? Like why not focus on that as opposed to just keep reusing the same thing?
Probably just like you said with, like, the writing. The source material is not there for them, so
Yeah. But at least they have like like there's a base for a story. Like you have a setting
yeah.
to
I don't know.
start.
Go ask Warner Brothers, bro.
Yeah, I
I
know.
have no idea.
And
Um,
hurry up with their damn fucking DCU projects.
but yeah, yeah, that's a good
What I
question. I choose 4, book number 4.
I guess I
Um,
choose I'm sorry. I don't know enough about Harry Potter to pick one.
but yeah, thanks for that question.
Yeah, thank you.
So now there's 2 questions from Tom Lieberman, friend of the podcast.
Former guest.
What do you think of the future of video game adaptations, and how big and prevalent will they become? Well, we were discussing this earlier. I
Yeah,
think they're going to be huge within the
I
next
agree.
couple of years. You're going to see a ton of movies announced, a ton of projects, and there already have been a ton announced.
Yeah.
I think at its peak, it could be like the ceiling would be like superhero movie levels of popularity.
But I don't think they're gonna cross over with other video game movies, so I feel like because it's not like I mean they could do properties and have the property like let's say like a Zelda thing, like they could have characters from Zelda cross over with each other. But
Mhm.
I don't know, the superheroes like they're constantly crossing over with each other in the comics too. So there's more stories for that. Like I feel like this is gonna be more like standalone films and stuff, which is fine. I don't like doesn't nothing else to fucking connect. Like it's fine if it's just on its own. You
Yeah,
know?
but I'm trying to think like when's the last time you saw like such a resurgence in like one particular type of
Superhero
media,
movies.
the superheroes, yeah.
Mm.
And you see how big that is now, and like it's kind of like the perfect time for video games to
So
take
yeah.
that role because now you're seeing superhero fatigue and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you. And then Tom, your other question: what upcoming movie would slap with a Nav soundtrack? It's a
FNAF.
great question. Probably FNAF is the
Yeah,
first one that
you
comes to
can't.
mind.
You
The
think
brown boy, like on the FNAF track, would be sick.
Balloon Boy?
Balloon Boy like has his own number with Nav. That would be sick. Oppenheimer with Nav music would be pretty dope. Also, let me think.
Do you think what are the odds Jack Black pulls up in the FNAF movie?
Pretty random question, honestly, but I would probably say like
He's a pretty big fan of the series.
100%.
I would be if
Like,
he pulled up on screen, I'd be fucking hype.
yeah. But yeah, Nav like could go with any
Yeah.
and like if I have to pick an old one, um Nav could be like Schindler's List on there, like some Nav music in the background would be pretty
Mhm.
fire for that. Um but yeah, like give Nav any film, like he's writing a sick soundtrack for it. And yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for that. Thanks for that very insightful and awesome question. But that'll do it for our questions today. And I have to recommend my
Recommend
movie.
that.
And okay. I'm recommending another foreign film, which is since you recommended one last week. I think you've seen this when you were younger,
Is it
but
Okja?
no.
Oh.
Um, God, let me finish, bro. It's it's a movie directed by Roberto Benigni. It's an Italian movie. and it's called Life is Beautiful,
I thought it was a
although
beautiful life.
otherwise known as La Vita e Bella. Could be butchering that, but I am Italian, so I'm pretty sure I said that right. And
Oh, I've seen this movie.
it is about an Italian Jew during the Holocaust, and his family gets taken by Germans, and he pretends that the whole thing is a game in order to keep his son's spirits high.
Yeah.
It's one that I watched when I was very young, and I want to recheck it out.
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about this, it's very in the vein of like Jojo Rabbit, kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like a kid,
Yeah, it's
except
a
in that
kid.
movie you follow a German kid, in this one it's a
Yeah,
Jewish kid. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a sad one. We haven't
yeah.
really discussed any
I
sad
haven't watched.
movies.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and I love sad movies too,
yeah.
because
I listen, dude. I'd be bawling my eyes out sometimes in the theater.
yeah, like
I'm trying to think of the
uh,
last movie I cried at. I
The
think The
Whale.
Whale. The Whale, I teared up a little bit.
But yeah,
Everything Everywhere. I cried like twice on that movie.
yeah, dude, that show is OD. That, like,
Yeah,
yeah, especially at the end when she's realizing that
yeah.
she loves her husband so much. But anyways, yeah, I'm actually one of the reasons why I'm recommending this is just thought it was kind of funny. I'm taking this year as one of my elective classes at my college. I have to take religion classes, so I'm taking a class on Judaism.
hmm
And as our final paper, she was just like, "Okay, write your paper on anything you want." So I was like, "All right, bet I'm gonna write mine about like how the Holocaust is portrayed within cinema."
That's actually a
So
pretty interesting,
yeah,
pretty unique final paper. I feel like no one in your class is gonna have that.
doubt it. And yeah, I'm gonna watch Schindler's List also, which I haven't seen, and I'm gonna do Jojo Rabbit. But yeah, that's why I recommended this, and it's also supposed to be a great movie. I remember when I think Mom showed this to us
Yeah,
when we were,
mom showed us this movie.
so
Yeah,
she'll be hyped if she's listening to this.
yeah. And then I don't know if you guys did you tell them about how what we're doing with the next episode?
Oh yeah, so I know you guys are gonna be disappointed by this.
Yeah,
This is our loyal fans, but usually we do 2-week intervals, but Joe recently got his schedule switched for nursing. So
yeah.
when the weekends that we usually record, he now works Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to record 3 weeks from now to get onto the schedule
schedule.
of him being off on the weekend we record.
Yeah,
So 3 weeks from now, we'll do Life is Beautiful. We'll do
Evil
Bo is
Dead
Afraid, Evil Dead Rise.
and Guardians.
No, Guardians is the
Oh, I'm
episode.
sorry.
So 3 weeks from now is episode 22. And then after that, we'll go back to every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
sounds like a
yeah,
plan.
that's it.
Yeah.
Whoever's still here, thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Follow us on our socials. Feel free to message us with any thoughts on
Requests, any questions? Yeah.
and thanks for listening, guys. Bye bye.
See you in 3 weeks.